It is the Michigan Football Report Live 2022 signing day spectacular extravaganza. Thanks so much to you. For those of you who are joining us watching the show here live, already have 200 live concurrent viewers. And heck, we've only been live here, for 9 seconds. So thanks to all of you who are waiting in the live chat as we're getting things rolling here. It is 2:30 on the East Coast, 1:31 now Central Time. And I think that makes it like 10 o'clock or something like that in Hawaii. So thanks to everyone who's watching. Got a ton of Go Blues taking care of the comments. YouTube's having a little issue today, so we're not going to be able to show as many comments on screen as we normally do, but we will get to as many of them as we can. But we're going to take some, going to kind of talk about this class here a little bit. A bunch of guys have already signed their letters of intent, but Michigan is still waiting on 7 or so guys as of right now, including Will Johnson, who have not officially signed their letters of intent. But no expectation of those 7 guys who we'll talk about here in a second. There's no expectation right now, at least, that any of them are going to flip or not be a part of this 2022 Michigan football recruiting class. So in about 13 minutes from now, we've got Derrick Moore's commitment going live here. If there's a stream that we can tap into, we're going to take you there live if they're broadcasting from school. I hadn't seen that yet, but right after that, we've got another commitment at 2 o'clock as well. So up here in the next 30 minutes, we should have 2 commitments to announce for you. My expectation, 2 4-stars will both go towards Michigan. Michigan will secure that top 10 class and potentially better. But there's a lot of schools having nice days out there today. Texas A&M. Jackson State got the #1 player in the country, so that's a nice get for them. So let's get it rolling with this. I'm going to ask you guys a bunch of questions, start building up the audience as we're waiting for Derrick Moore's announcement here at 2:45. If you are excited for this 2022 Michigan football recruiting class, I am. Not as many top-end players, top 100 guys as maybe a lot of Michigan fans would expect given the Big Ten championship. As of now, only 2 top 100 guys, Keon Sabb and Will Johnson. But like this video, let's get the likes rolling here on this video. I want to make sure that that we're not jinxing it, right? I'm a big jinx guy. If I'm wearing, I kind of had the same routine for every Michigan game this year, where I watched it, who I watched it with, and heck, 12-1 season, right? And we did the same thing for a bunch of videos. So like the video, let's not get caught out there in the streets, having one of these guys not go to Michigan just because you didn't like the video. So, all right, next 4 or 5 minutes here, we're going to do what we call audience build-up. Let the people who weren't in the live chat before we got started get the video, get on here on YouTube. I just tweeted it out, just put it on our Facebook page. So let's get the live chat going with a number of questions, some Michigan-related, some just learning more about the audience and yourself. So shout out your city. I'm going to see where you guys are coming from. I'll start giving shout-outs to people telling me where they're from. I grew up in south of Cleveland, Ohio, a little town called Hinckley, just a kid from Hinckley, and currently living in Dallas, Texas, or living in Dallas, Texas. I shouldn't say currently like I'm about to leave or anything like that. I want to hear where you guys are from. Got Flint Town from Josh Sherwood. Thanks so much for watching, Josh, as always. Matthew Barnum, Ovid, is that a city? I don't know. It seems like COVID without the C. Baylor says Ashland, Oregon. Port Huron from my man Lewis Papp. Butte, Montana from Joey. Got a Grand Rapids. Calgary, Alberta from Cash. Holly, Michigan. Niles, Michigan from Dougie. Dom saying White Lake. Allen Park from Jeffrey Vrabel. Jeffrey, if you know the Ronzello family, that's my cousins there in Allen Park. Michelle, Jesse, Lisa, Aunt Michelle, etc. Teddy says Lansing, Michigan. South Carolina. They're going by pretty quick. San Diego. Fostoria, Ohio. Joe Torres says San Diego. Louisville, Kentucky from Jared. And I gotta like this one from J Cell Dogs. Domani Jackson don't want the cold weather. His Cali pretty boy stuff. Hey, is Domani Jackson the next C.J. Stroud? Coldridge Stroud? Cold Monty? I'm not gonna make any he hasn't announced yet. Maybe Michigan's still in play for him. We'll see. Lake Jackson, Texas. I saw pop up there. Southfield, Michigan. Bath, Michigan from Obi Trey. Columbus, Ohio from DLT Lawn Care. So hope you're a Michigan fan repping down there and really boasting about what Michigan has accomplished over here in the past couple weeks, beating Ohio State and then winning the Big Ten championship. So as we await for a couple commitments to come here live at about 10 minutes from now, we'll keep taking questions. Let's see who's a Michigan football fan. I know there's some Georgia fans. I had some Georgia fans threatening me in the comments, not physically, but like, we're gonna put this on all the Go Dogs message boards, and we're gonna bombard your next live show with Go Dogs. So haven't seen that yet, but just in case, let's get the Go Blues rolling. RJ, Charlotte, North Carolina. Here, I'll read out the people typing Go Blue. My man Lions fan 02, Baylor Wiggins. another Baylor Wiggins. Rob's 300 mag. Let's see, Jeff Beechler, MeToo 433. He says actually Oak Park, Michigan. Keep the Blow Blues. One Scoop John. What kind of name do you think that is, Brett? One Scoop John. What is that? Just ice cream guy? He's ice cream guy. Jeff Beecher says go blue. Caleb, Jeremy, Marcus says he had a long comment. I don't have time to read that. Marcus, we'll get to that one in a little bit. Tori says go blue. Brian Lambden says go blue. Edwin, Judah, Wayne, Ryan, and I like this one. Bradley Smith says Ohio Butt Guys. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but seems pretty funny. Is that supposed to be Butt Guys? Butt Guys? Wink, winky, wink. Let's take up this one. Here's what we've learned today around this 2022 Michigan football recruiting class. Keon Sabb, he was a 5-star over the summer when he committed to Clemson, and so he's borderline top 100 player. I think it was number 94 or so. He decommitted from Clemson a couple weeks ago. A couple of his classmates, also top 100 guys on the defensive side of the ball, decommitted from Clemson as well. Their defensive coordinator went off to take the Oklahoma job, and even though Michigan probably finished third from what it sounded like back in the summer, they secure the commitment of Keon Sabb, so he'll be Michigan's second highest rated recruit unless something wild happens and Damani Jackson decides to go to Michigan. Amarian Walker, another wide receiver, was with Notre Dame, and he was from the state of Louisiana. Didn't seem like Brian Kelly made a big push for him from what I can tell after taking that LSU job. He's an in-state guy, but it seemed all the schools he was looking at were schools up north in colder weather. So Michigan gets the flip from him on the 24/7 Sports consensus composite rankings, I should say. He is listed as a 3-star, although I do think like one or two services do list him as a low 4-star. And then Ethan Burke, interesting kind of situation with him. He's an unheralded recruit. No one even heard of him. Michigan and a few other schools like Baylor and some Big 12 schools started showing interest like a month ago. He gets a 3-star rating based on Michigan offering. He commits to Michigan as official visit during the season. And then now here on signing day, he's from Austin, Texas. The hometown team comes in with a last-minute scholarship offer, and they secure the defensive end out of Austin, Texas. Westlake High School, which produces all kinds of college and NFL talent over the years. Baker Mayfield being probably the most recent big-time quarterback they've had. So that's the things we've known about today. And we'll keep bringing you through. I think a lot of things are going to happen over here in the next hour and a half. Might see Will Johnson's letter of intent come through as there's talk of he's signing this afternoon with his high school classmates, et cetera, et cetera. So let's see what else we've got on the docket while we're waiting for Derrick Moore, who's about 7 minutes away from making his announcement. Folks, how excited are you for the future of Michigan football? Give me a scale of 1 to 10 as we have. What do we got here, Brett? 509 people watching live. Only 103 likes, so please like the video. But let's see. I'm a 9.9. 9999 repeating, right? If Michigan wins the national title or were to have like a top 2 or 3 recruiting class, that probably gets me up to a 10. But still going to be a talent deficit. I see a lot of 9s, a lot of 10s. I see Josh Sherwood with a solid 10. Russ with a 10. I got Jesse Areola says, Areola, yeah, it's Areola. 11. I got a 99999. I got somebody with a 9998. 10 from Jeremy, but it's if J.J. McCarthy starts. Terry says a 9.5. Cole 9. Teddy Alana 10 as well. TY 9. A Go Blue from King Courtney. So people are pretty excited. If you would ask this question 1 year ago, I think people would have been like 3. Maybe 4 at this time last year. Maybe right after, a little bit after signing day was probably a little bit worse. There was some excitement on signing day. Remember last year, Donovan Edwards decided to sign with Michigan, committed there. And then Xavier Worthy, he was a Michigan guy. Then he was looking like it was Alabama and then confirmed a commitment to Michigan on signing day in December. But then ultimately, like 2-3 months later, asked out of his letter of intent and ended up having a pretty nice season as a true freshman with Texas. So keep them going. As we're looking here, it's 2:40 on the East Coast, 5 minutes away from Derrick Moore announcing. So coming up here, we're going to have it. Sounds like he's going to have it on his Instagram. So I'm going to get my IG out there as well. And if it's video, we'll have it. If he just makes a post, sometimes these guys do an IG live. Sometimes they do just a video, like a pre-recorded hype video kind of thing. So we'll see what Derrick Moore. I don't think I have the right Derrick Moore because that guy only has 1 follower. So all right. Well, I'm gonna slack that to me if you get a chance. Producer Brett behind the camera. Kellen makes in the comments here makes a a very, very slanderous comment on Xavier Worthy that I don't condone at all, but I'm not going to delete it. You have your own opinions of him there. Big 8D Moore. All right, that's Derrick Moore's Instagram account. So we'll have that for you momentarily. Again, if he goes live or has anything on video, we will pipe that into the stream, so you won't be missing out anything. So stick with us here, and we'll see what we have. So 4 minutes out from that. David Ramsey, go Blue. James, you are the best. David, you're the best, man. That's a nice comment. Warms the heart. Really appreciate it. A couple of comments coming in. We've got some comments. YouTube Live is struggling. They've had some errors. And it's been a big struggle fest. We're doing live shows here at Chat Sports 2-3 a day, and it's kind of been taxing on the production staff. So Edwin says, so can we get that Damani flip? I guess it wouldn't really be a flip because he's not really committed anywhere. But he did a couple of interviews over the last day or so, and it was all focused on Lincoln Riley and USC. They're building something big. It's going to be huge. Hometown team. Or Alabama. Nick Saban's the GOAT. National titles. First-round draft picks in the secondary every single year, basically. But he's not signing today. He says he's going to – basically his line was, signing on a Friday sounds good to me. That feels right to me. So we're going to wait 2 days. He's a limited Michigan, as far as we know. His Instagram post a couple weeks ago. But you know what? Crazy things have happened. Let's just think about the last the last three recruiting classes. I guess, no, it's actually the last two last three. You've got Daxton Hill, right? He decommitted from Michigan, committed to Alabama, signed a boom, back to Michigan. No one thought it was going to, I mean, some people alluded to it, myself included, that it's out there. He's still talking to Michigan, but that was interesting. Xavier Worthy last year. No one thought he was going to come back to Michigan. It was Alabama bound for him. So Michigan's won their last two guys we think are Michigan guys, but they're going to make a signing day decision. They've either decommitted, both Xavier Worthy and Dax Hill were Michigan commits, decommitted, and look like they're going to Alabama. They committed back, signed with Michigan. So even though Damani Jackson wasn't a public commit, if you do recall, he said that he did verbally commit, silent commit to Michigan when he was a junior in high school. So it's still out there. He's always called it his dream school, not signed today. So there's at least 1% chance. All right, you're telling me there's a chance. That's what I'm telling you. All right, so we're gonna do sub-only chat, and so I got the producer in my ear say sub-only chat, which means that if you are subscribed to the channel, you can still comment in the comment box. But if you are not subscribed, you are banned from commenting. So just hit that subscribe button, and you will be welcomed back into the live chat here on YouTube, as we are now just moments away. Although I did check out that Big D Moore IG. Link says not working, so I'm going to go back. Big 8D Moore, whatever it was. Okay, I've got it now. 6 posts all the time. We're keeping an eye on what he is doing here. We'll keep refreshing this. So type me if you want a shout out, as we're about 2 minutes away from Derrick Moore shouting or announcing where he's at. Yeah, Josh, Deion Walker to Kentucky. It's kind of a bummer, right? Michigan you don't get more than one or two Power 5 level D linemen in the state of Michigan in a single class. So you can't lose the good ones to schools like Kentucky. And Michigan's lost a couple, one D line, one offensive lineman in the past couple years to Kentucky themselves. Here's the Mees. Outdoor Montana says, you're the man, Yoder. Appreciate that. You're the man as well. Joe Foster, Lion Fan 02, Henry Lassa, how do you pronounce that? Kawani Johnson, Brian Garcia, Jeff Beechler, Justin Trosper, Demetrius Wycliffe, One Scoop John, that guy 62, Sendog, Justin Baker, Anthony, Demetrius, Michigan 73, Texas, shout out Texas, Landon Thompson, and I got to go blue from Great Doc, Michael Davis, my man, appreciate you, Michael, your great follow on Twitter, etc., and across social media, Xavier M, Kawan Harris, MeToo433, Out Mud says, me, man, I like that. Ooh, I like this one. Xander Surlong says Yoder has a thick booty with that peach emoji. I'm letting that comment through, although YouTube did try to block that one, Xander. So keep an eye out for those. Antonio Coleman, me, go blue. Donald Brown, Jay Kittler, and Brian Garcia, R Breezy 42. So Brad Gish, Noah Blair, and Destro 0861 with some last-second me's, KJ as well. Appreciate it, Michael. Right back at you as well. Me, Yoder, me from Forearm Shiver. That's a pretty good name. A Forearm Shiver must be a defensive lineman in there. Classy stash. Look, this is. You think I want this? You think I want this stash? You want to go full screen on this? I can see some people talking about the stash. I get it on Twitter a lot. Like, shave the stash. I see it in the YouTube comments. That stash is gross. As we're awaiting now, Derrick Moore. He's kind of on the clock at 2:45 Eastern to commit. you guys remember who was the guy a few years back? It was the kid who went to Georgia, right? Who was not in the NFL anymore. He was a first-round pick and got kicked out of the NFL, the offensive lineman. Is he? Whatever his name is, Isaiah Wilson, right? Wasn't that him? We broadcast his about 4 years ago on our YouTube channel, our Facebook channel, and it was like an hour and a half or something like that. It was a elementary school like Christmas recital that they let us sit through, and a pep rally they made us sit through. So he is. People are saying he's going live on IG right now. So let's see. He's not live yet. I'm refreshing here as well. Matt Harvey says Yoder, so appreciate that. I like this one. Balzac, Yoder's Michigan football report far superior to that Weirdo on Michigan podcast. I don't know anything about that guy, but hey, appreciate the vote of approval there. Stan says Toledo and Chicago. Yeah, today is about beating, we said beat Ohio State again for the last 2 years. It happened. You and we spoke this into existence, and I don't want it to stop, right? We can't go back to losing again to Ohio State next year. I think Michigan will come into the season probably ranked right there with Ohio State in the top 5, or potentially, Michigan could be 2, 3, 4, depending on what happens in the CFP. So let's get the Bosas going. If you were part of the Bosa movement, I'm going to type it myself here. I'm just going to slam it, like 3 Bosas. It's not beat Ohio State again like it was. That was a future thinking thing. Like, hey, we used to beat Ohio State. Let's do it again. This is a repeat, right? We did it past tense, beat Ohio State again, so it's 2 purposes, and we're going to keep doing it next year. I think it would be just lovely. Michigan hasn't won in Columbus since 2000. You should be able to, yeah, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me take a look. We're seeing if is he? Oh, yeah, he is live. So I can he is live there, Brett. So if you want, if you click on that, it's showing up on his IG account. So give us a moment here, folks. Derrick Moore, what's that? Probably from Chat Sports, yeah, or whatever. So not the top of my head. It's like video. I don't want to say it out loud, but something with video and views and the year, probably something like that. Maybe capital views. So Derrick Moore is live right now. So stay with us, guys. You don't have to leave here. And thanks so much for all the Bosas. The Bosas are coming. I like that one. Bosa 22 might add that to the. It's almost like a presidential campaign, right? Bosa 22. I like this one. Bradley Smith, 14-10, Michigan beats Georgia, calling it now. I think Michigan's going to score against Georgia. I really do. Baylor Wiggins says, what's his Instagram? We're about to pipe in right now and here in a second. We just need to get it set up here, and we are going to bring his Instagram feed with sound, I believe, right, into they said the sound is bad. It's a very unprofessional setup he's got going. That's fine. He's a young kid. But he is on his IG live right now. He's kind of doing one of these where the camera's all over the place. He's looking up, looking down. So we're going to pipe that in here with me, and we're going to let you guys hear his sound. So stick with us. We will have Derrick Moore here momentarily. We've got almost 1,000 people watching here. Hey, sup, Derrick Moore? He's only got 400 people watching him live. So, not taking a shot. Just, little numbers. We're doing numbies, as the kids say in the streets right now, with 900 of you concurrent live, 154 likes. While we're waiting, we're getting him in right now. I see it coming up in the production screen. They're just getting everything lined up with what it looks like, and it's going to appear next to me right here in just a moment. So keep typing Bosa. 1,000 of you or 900 of you guys are live. Like the video, we will have Derrick Moore's live commitment. We're going to kind of stick with it and see what's going on. Whoa, we ended the video. Oh, no. He ended the video. What did he do? Oh, gosh. That's what it looked like. He ended the live video. Assistant to the producer, Marshall, can you take a look and see if Derrick Moore, if I wasn't listening in, if he did say anything. So he might come back live here. So there's what it was, folks. We had it, and so we've got it queued up. The second he goes back live, we will bring you Derrick Moore. No, he's not live now. Ugh, brutal. So that's a bummer because I was going to take a break. I'm talking so much, I was going to let this guy talk, but he is not live now if we want. All right, so I'm going to check and see if he is live one more time. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver here. So if Derrick Moore goes back live, we will continue to we'll bring him back with us. But that was a bummer because as of right now, he's not back live. But subscribe to the channel while we're waiting. We're waiting Derrick Moore, 4-star offensive lineman out of Baltimore, same high school as Blake Corum. Biff Poggi, he's like Harbaugh's right-hand guy now. He's done 2 different stints with Michigan. Baltimore and state of Maryland high school football coaching legend, just handfuls of state championships. That was his high school coach. If he does announce to Michigan, there was some talk that Michigan does have to apply for a waiver because there is a NCAA rule that it's kind of actually like the Rashawn Gary rule in a lot of ways, geared towards Jim Harbaugh, is you can't have your high school coach come and be in a non-coaching position at a school, or that school can't send any recruits to Michigan or wherever for 2 recruiting classes. So we'll see if Michigan can get it. I would expect that if they're getting Derrick Moore to commit to them, they feel comfortable they've already got that waiver and commit and sign taken care of. So checking him again. It doesn't look like he's coming back on live, so apologies to anybody who was yeah, let's take a couple comments. I'm kind of checking all the socials. Assistant producer Marshall. Take a look at Twitter. Derrick Moore, 2 R's, ICK. Make sure that we're not missing anything on his commitment or if he goes live on another platform. But we are waiting for another commitment coming up here in about 9 minutes as well. So we'll have all kinds of news and rumors and these recruiting commitments live for you guys here on YouTube. The second he goes live, we will have him back if he does. Caden Hepler coming in with a comment. Thanks, Caden. One player not named Will Johnson that has the opportunity to make an immediate impact next year. Good question. I haven't really thought about this a ton. I mean, it's kind of in flux of where player would go. I don't think it's Tyler Morris, a wide receiver. Seems like he's got the most talent, but he was hurt, right, as a senior, and he didn't really play his senior in high school, so I'm not certain about what happens there. Zeke Berry and Keon Sabb are ones that potentially, but Rod Moore came in. He was starting as a true freshman at the end of the year, so I doubt Michigan is going to start kind of jump over the 3 sophomore safeties that they've got with another young guy. So I doubt there. So let me just kind of take another look here and just give a thought where my head's at. Connor Jones, potentially, he's one that's really interesting. How about this name, right? The lowest rated recruit in the class. You might say I'm crazy here, but this is a player, whether it's as a backup or maybe he jumps into the starting lineup. Aaron Alexander, all right, Bellevue, Michigan. He is Michigan's lowest rated recruit. He's like number 1,000 or something in America. I think he is one that will play from day one on special teams because he is a playmaker, late bloomer. Didn't get a ton of playing time early on in his high school career. Wasn't overly recruited. Didn't do the camp circuits, and was an unranked player. A while back when he committed to Michigan on June 19th. So I think with his speed, people saying, "Hey, reminds me like Devin Bush." I remember Devin Bush in 2016. Like, who is that kid that just ran down the field? Oh, that's Devin Bush, number 10. Aaron Alexander, pretty interesting one. Is not signed yet, right? So he's one of those 7 players. I'll read them off here. 5 now. So, Cavante Henry, I'm considering him not part of the class at this point because he says he's not going to commit to till February. So, Will Johnson, 5-star, top 20 player in the country, Michigan's crown of this class. Kenneth Grant, out of Indiana, defensive lineman, 3-star, top 500 in America. Jayden Denegal, right? He's out of California, out of Northern California, and it's still early in the day out there, right? So, it's just coming up on noon Pacific time right now. So, I'm expecting him to sign. And then Aaron Alexander out of Bellevue, Michigan. Has not signed. All right, so we've got some people on the streets in Baltimore saying, "Hey, Derrick Moore in his high school, they're doing a big deal, and he is not himself going to announce for at least 15 more minutes." So we actually might get, Darius Clemons. We might get him before we get Moore. So Clemons is actually going to be announcing on television with a rival, so I'm not kind of trying to give them any free ads, so we'll have that. Marsh, if you want to keep that one, keep an eye on Darius, and then we will put that as fast as we can as soon as we go. So, all right, so let's just keep a couple questions. So we don't have Derrick Moore. We've got a super chat. If you guys want to get pushed to the top of the line and guaranteed we're going to take your questions, we'll be live for at least another hour or so. Super chat, $5 coming in from Obi Trey. Do you think our defense will be worse without Hutchinson or better with the potential of better defensive backs? Look, Michigan's defensive backs played admirably this year, right? I think the move to put Daxton Hill down into a sometimes nickel role, sometimes corner-ish role, depending on what the matchup was. Vincent Gray, what a year for him. He was just like the worst cornerback I think Michigan's had since the Rich Rod era in 2020. Turned around into a pretty solid player this year. From there, the safeties, obviously Brad Hawkins will be gone last year. Daxton Hill expected to be gone. But I think the secondary will be good. The defense, there's no way it's going to be better, I don't think, next year when you don't have Aiden Hutchinson and likely David Ojabo off the edge. Josh Ross, can return for like a 6th year next year if he wants to. And I think he should, because I don't know what his NFL future holds. He could have a second year. It'd be kind of crazy. He's been around for basically ever at this point, Josh Ross has. But I think Michigan's defense will be good next year, but I don't think they'll be better by any means, because you're not going to have that. Frankly, all time, at least for Michigan, maybe potentially you could say it's the best pass rush combo in Big Ten in history in the last 20 years, as far as I can remember. Ohio State's had a bunch of guys, but they always seem to be like one guy's a freshman, one guy's a junior, and then the next guy comes and the other guy's out, and they didn't always overlap like Michigan did with Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo. So waiting for Derrick Moore, waiting for my man, the wide receiver Darius. So we'll take some more questions here in a second, but want to ask you guys some more questions. Awaiting Derrick Moore's announcement. He went in Instagram Live, and apparently what he said is, hey, we got a ceremony coming in at school. It's not going to be at 2:45. It's going to be like 15 or so minutes. So we'll probably be about 10 minutes or so now out from him committing. But Will Johnson, I was going to say Will Johnson, but that's a double Will. We can't use that. That's bad English. Does Will Johnson start as a true freshman in 2022? We have a ton of comments coming in here. So give me some yeses, give me some nos, and I'll let you guys know what I think. I don't think initially, but maybe, right? But I don't know if he might actually fill that Daxton Hill role if he's if his speed matches what we think it should as a 5-star cornerback, and he is potentially the fastest guy in Michigan's defense as a true freshman. He could be someone who rotates in nickel against teams that have 4 wide receiver sets, like in Ohio State and others, throughout the game. I doubt he'll overtake Michigan starting cornerbacks next year, but he has every opportunity to. Michigan's not going to hold anybody back from playing. Rod Moore did it this year, right? Rod Moore took over R.J. Moten about the 9th or 10th game of the year, and he had a 3-star, lowly rated safety out of Ohio, ended up in your starting lineup because Michigan felt that they couldn't. R.J. Moten was maybe a liability in coverage against very fast slot receivers. Rod Moore wasn't. He was the better player in when it came to covering 4 and 5 wide receiver sets. Let me know what you guys think. He will if Gray is gone. I don't think Gray is gone. I think Gray will be back. There's no NFL future after this season for Vincent Gray, so that's an interesting comment. Yeah, you can never have too many cornerbacks when you're playing an Ohio State team that potentially has, on any given year, the best passing offense in college football. So we'll see what you guys think. Keep it rolling in there. Let's talk about this recruiting class while we're waiting for Derrick Moore, and talk about the guys who have signed. The letter of intent is in. It's been faxed in, if they're still doing that, to Michigan. Starts at the top with Keon Sabb. I don't know, is it Sabb or Sabb? I keep saying it differently. I had it over the summer when he was considering Michigan, but I'm just calling him Sabb from now on. Yeah, Sabb's more with 2 A's, isn't it? Tyler Morris, coming off an injury, high school teammate of J.J. McCarthy. He is a big-time player. All the schools, Oklahoma, Ohio State, etc., all wanted him. He chose Michigan. Zeke Berry out of the state of California. He will be an interesting one to see how he develops over the coming years. He potentially could be one that I didn't want to necessarily say him because I think Michigan's got some strong safety. He has some good safety play coming back, but Zeke Berry certainly is one that could make an impact next year. Jimmy Rolder out of Chicago, highly rated linebacker. I doubt he is a starter next year, but he should be in the 2 deep, as Michigan didn't have the greatest development of some of the younger linebackers. Obviously, Junior Colston played well, but Nakai Hill-Green fell off the map, and no other first- and second-year linebackers really stepped up for Michigan in the 2021 season. Kody Jones, been committed to Michigan, as long as anybody out of the state of Tennessee. Maybe thought that his relationship with Walter Nolan could get Nolan to lean Michigan, but ultimately didn't get the pull of Nolan. Although Walter Nolan did not sign today with Texas A&M either. You never know, folks. You never know. Maybe Walter Nolan decides to be a surprise flip to Michigan. He is currently committed to Texas A&M. Let's keep it rolling with the next batch of recruits. Kind of like listing these guys. These are the ones who have signed. So if you think we're missing anybody, they're amongst the 4 players that I just mentioned about 3 minutes ago who have yet to sign their letter of intent. Colston Loveland, all-time name guy. That's just a phenomenal name for Michigan as a recruit. Really like what he's bringing to the table. And I'm excited to see what he does as part of this program going forward. So Colston Loveland, tight end. Mason Graham, USC went after him hard. He's out of the state of California as well, but ultimately he stuck with his commitment to the University of Michigan. He's from Anaheim, California. Alex Orji, just for the sake of his name, he's an awesome recruit, right? His name is Orji. There's Orji in the big house. Harbaugh brings Orji to Harbaugh has an orgy over to his house. And you could throw it 100 different ways. Harbaugh says yes to Orji. Harbaugh gets commitment from Orgy. Oh, yeah, you guys, we're gonna have a lot of fun with that one. So it's all good there. Amarion Walker out of Ponchatoula, Louisiana, 3-star athlete wide receiver. Michigan's going to play him at wide receiver from what it sounds like, although he potentially is open to making a switch to defensive back from what I was reading today. Marlin Klein, another tight end. He is out of Georgia, Rabun Gap, Georgia. And then we keep it rolling. We'll kind of go back to these guys here in a second. Do we have Clemons is coming up. Darius Clemons is set to announce here. I want to kind of make sure we're keeping an eye on that. He is about to announce between, let's talk about his original 3 finalists. Darius Clemons was in August. He announced Oregon, where he's from, Penn State, Auburn. All right. Oregon's had a coaching change, right? They're in kind of shambles. I don't say shambles the program, but they've got a 35-year-old defensive coordinator coming over from Georgia. Clearly couldn't, put us all into recruiting this class. He's been on the job for 4 days at this point. And, he's made one trip out to Oregon. He's probably trying to keep their committed guys as part of the class rather than trying to recruit new guys. So I doubt Oregon, unless he's just taking a leap of faith and saying, hey, this is our hometown team. We're sticking with them. Penn State, maybe. That's an option. And then Auburn, they had their starting quarterback, Bo Nix, who transferred to Michigan. And Darius Clemons has committed to the University of Michigan. Breaking news, Darius Clemons, 4-star wide receiver out of the state of Oregon, is now part of this Michigan football reclass. So type Go Blue in the comments. Congrats to Darius Clemons. Big get from Michigan. This class has now 3 wide receivers who can be instant impact players or, just add more depth. Michigan, with the freshmen they've got coming in with 3 big-time wide receivers now in this class, they're going to have as many as 9 wide receivers next year who were either highly rated recruits or have made an impact over the 2020 and 2021 season. You've got Ronnie Bell coming back. I mean, it's no wonder a guy like Giles Jackson transferred. I think Xavier Worthy would have certainly played at Michigan given what he did at Texas and the Big 12 this year. But what an awesome class. And Josh Gattis, right? We've given him a lot of guff and a lot of grief over the years as being a bad wide receiver coach. Hasn't really had a star wide receiver breakout, even when he had Donovan Peoples-Jones and Nico Collins and Tariq Black his first year. Never really had a breakout star wide receiver. But now he's going to have 8, 9 guys on his roster as long as there's no transfers next year, and should be able to put together 3, 4, 5 that are among the best in the, probably not the Big Ten because that's going to be Ohio State, but probably amongst the 5 or 6 deepest wide receiver rooms in all of college football. So Darius Clemons, 4-star out of Oregon, is now a member of this 2022 Michigan football recruiting class. So big time get for Michigan. We're waiting on Derrick Moore. He's coming up next, and I think there's some sort of piano recital going on in his high school gymnasium. The 4th grade Christmas piano recital. So we got an orgy, and now there's apparently a pianist committing to Michigan. So Jim Harbaugh is just bringing the jokes here for this 2022 class. So big get. We'll talk more on Clemons. We'll talk more if Derrick Moore decides to commit to Michigan. But type the Go Blues in the comments. Big get for Michigan. I told you yesterday, expected this one after he visited Michigan recently, that I felt it was trending towards Michigan, and there were some sources, I got a couple people, like, look, he left Michigan, maybe not outright committing to Michigan, but he left no doubt that he intended to sign a letter of intent on, who is this guy? Master Daters. Yoder, you're terrible to listen to, but Go Blue. Let me tell you something, Master Dater. We're doing a live show, bringing in people, live streams, giving you announcements. I got 1,000 screens around me, people talking in my ear. Okay, cut me a break here. But I will say I saw some of our competition over at The Wolverine and Michigan Podcast, or not Michigan Podcast, Sam Webb, with like 9 people live earlier today. They were live for an hour with 8 or 9 people live. So congrats to them on tripling the normal audience live, where we have 1,200 concurrent. So Yoder's audience, 60x Sam Webb, 60x, 70x the Wolverine, and Rivals, whatever they are right now. So shout out to you guys for being part of this audience. And that guy who said I'm terrible to listen to, Master Daters, I'm blocking you, right? You're not part of this show anymore. You are gone forever, ejected from this show. I'm not going to go block him, but, that's pretty mean, man. I'm kind of hurt. I have feelings. All right. Darius Clemons. We have sound with this or no? This is just his IG feed. So that is the photo of him. There's a screenshot. He was live on a competitor YouTube, TV network, etc. And he was also live on his Instagram feed. And so that is the photo of him donning the Michigan hat. I always kind of find it funny when these TV networks have these recruits go and they couldn't even get him a working headset and mic. He's got the iPhone headset. But, hey, it all is. Spawn, I got a $50 super chat from Spawn. Thank you so much, Spawn. If you want, I'm kind of a whore for money. So if you want me to do anything like do a little dance or a push-up or something like that for that $50, I'll do that. But he just gave me a Go Blue, so thank you. Winford M says this show's way better than Michigan podcast. So the guy who said I'm bad to listen to, I think the haters are giving it to him in the comments. So Spawn, thank you so much. DM me on Twitter. I'll make sure I'll follow you back there if you're an active tweeter. But if not, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Guaranteed to get you on the show if you super chat. So we have got Derrick Moore now committed to Michigan and Darius Clemons committed to Michigan, waiting on Derrick Moore to go back Instagram Live, maybe it sounds like. But the piano recital, they're about to do another Christmas song, Jingle All the Way is what's coming up next, it looks like on the Spawn says Go Blue. Yeah, Spawn $50. Look, he paid $50 to have his Go Blue, so why don't you guys have 50 on the show. I like this comment from Sean Austin. Yoder is a much better show than the other Wolverine podcasts. The others suck, just boring. Look, at our worst here, we try and be kind of funny, self-deprecating, and I'll do things just to make things more entertaining. I mean, last Thursday, we drank 6 beers in 15 minutes. By the way, I hadn't put that. If you watch it live, you can go through the live show. It's at the end of last Thursday's live, last 20 minutes or so. You show me kind of getting drunk and almost my stomach was rough on that one. But I'm going to put out that video with the behind-the-scenes footage tomorrow here on our YouTube channel. So if you guys are waiting for that, Yoder drinking 6 beers in 15 minutes, there's a lot of good Michigan football content on there as well. Nothing was super time-sensitive. Most of the questions were geared towards Georgia, Michigan, and beyond. So I'll put that up on the channel tomorrow. Type Go Blue. I saw a 99-cent super chat coming in from Gary Klein, so appreciate that, Gary. Didn't sound like, I didn't say anything, so I think he just, it's from Gary Klein, right? He's just doing that. So thank you so much, Gary, for the 99 cents. Let's see. We've got... list of signings. So let's recap. Lauren says, best sports show on YouTube. Really appreciate that, Lauren. Thank you so much. A lot of Go Blues coming in. Justin Trosper says, dude donated 99 pennies. Hey, everything counts, right? Go to the dollar store and get myself a Christmas present, a little stocking stuffer. So Go Blue from Sean Austin, Go Blue from B Mill, and Rich P says, Gary couldn't spare the extra penny. Hey, let's not dollar shame Gary, all right? Yeah, YouTube might make it seem like it's a deal. $1.99 seems like a better of a deal, I guess. So let's kind of walk through the class, kind of where we left off here a minute ago before we kind of skip to Derrick Moore, who is not announced yet. Myles Pollard, right? He is, I think, an underrated recruit. I don't think he's getting enough love as for what his talent is. The level of talent. So he's a cornerback. He will be there with Will Johnson, and maybe they're a cornerback duo that could rival what Will Johnson and Damani Jackson could have been. 3-star out of Brentwood, Tennessee, number 584 in the country, number 53 overall cornerback in America. How about this guy, right? Alessandro Lorenzetti, right? I'm pronouncing it with I'm pulling a Lorenzetti. I'm pronouncing it with a Brian Kelly-style accent. Brian Kelly's trying to be from New Orleans or Louisiana. I'm trying to be Italian, right? So I'm getting canceled here. Micah Pollard, no relation to Myles, linebacker out of Jacksonville, Florida, number 700 player in the country, 3-star. CJ Stokes. A lot of rumors he could be a flip. Jim Harbaugh did an in-home with him in the past week or so. Really funny photo. If you haven't seen it, go to CJ Stokes' Twitter account. I think it was maybe it was Sunday over the weekend. I can't remember when it was. Maybe last Friday. But his living room was wild because they had a deer head on the ground. Harbaugh was wearing no shoes and socks. They had a mounted fish. They had something on TV. It was just a funny setup. And Harbaugh, as always, kind of looked like a little bit of a weirdo. Travis Mitchell saying, Yoder, the king of Michigan football media. Appreciate that, Travis. Long-time watcher, one of the day ones, Travis. So appreciate you. Hope you're doing well, man. I know a while back you told me you had some things going on health-wise. I haven't really, been able to touch base with you since then. So let me know if you're good. Hoping that you are. Bobby Anderson, great show, Go Blue. Waiting on Derrick Moore. And Damani Dent is one that was a flip candidate down the stretch, safety out of Florida. I don't think he is one that will get a ton of playing time early on for Michigan. But Damani Dent is one of these players from the state of Florida, maybe even like Rod Moore from Ohio last year, that was under-recruited. Michigan thinks they've got a diamond in the rough with him, that he is a guy that will be an impact player down the stretch, has the athleticism to be a Big Ten star someday, but really hasn't gotten the coaching or made the kind of impact plays as a high schooler to be a 4-star, to be a 5-star. And so that's why he's ranked as a 3-star, about a number 1,000, number 917 exactly in the composite rankings right now. But Rod Moore was about there last year. Rod Moore, as a true freshman, is a starter on this team at safety. So Damani Dent is just not necessarily their style of play, but just like under-recruited, don't know what we're expecting from him, but Harbaugh and the staff really liked him because of the intangibles and athleticism he brings to the table. So we'll see what we get from Damani Dent. All right, so 2 more on the signed list for Michigan. Deuce Spurlock, linebacker. I just love the name Deuce, right? Every football team needs a player named Deuce, so he is now out of Alabama. He is committed now and signed with Michigan. Linebacker, number 968 in the country. 6'2", 200, 3-star. Out of Alabama, didn't have the big SEC offer, so that's always kind of I don't know. And then Connor Jones. If it wasn't for offensive line being his position, I think Connor Jones, of all the 3-stars, and he's one of the lowest ranked recruits in this class, Kyle Jones is one that wants to be a Michigan football player out of the state of Colorado. His family seems to love Michigan, and I'm excited to see if he can come in. He could be a player that by year 2, by year 3 is just like, hey, he's a starter. He's a 2 or 3 year starter as well. So it will be a pretty interesting thing to see what he says. I think he's underrated, and the Michigan coaching staff and all the recruit guys that follow this stuff really closely. I follow recruiting about 2-3 months a year very closely, but I'm not sitting there watching film every single day like some of the other recruiting guys out there. But I'm really excited to see what Connor Jones can bring to the table. Derrick Moore. This is now up there, right? It's 30. We're coming up on 30 minutes of his announcement. This is one of the all-time long ones, right up there with Isaiah Wilson. There was a cornerback from Michigan about 8-10 years ago. I can't remember who it was. Out of California. If you guys remember, some cornerback. I think he committed during Rich Rod. So maybe it's like 10 or 12 years ago. Who literally went like an hour and a half. Maybe it was a cornerback from Pennsylvania. I can't remember what class it was. He went an hour and a half with his announcement. Right? It was late. Did the whole hat thing, did an interview, all that stuff, and then ended up going to Michigan. I'll have to get that name for it. If any of you guys remember that cornerback out of Pennsylvania in like 2008 or 9 or 10 that went an hour and a half, let me know what you guys think. A lot of comments coming through. Really appreciate everything as we're waiting for Derrick Moore. We've got a super chat coming in from Bohannon94. He says, Yoder, will D. Edwards play more running back or wide receiver next year? Need a shout out living here in Columbus. Shout out to you, Bohannon94. Rep the Michigan gear. There's 2 little chats. We'll tell people where to get the Big Ten links here in a second. Thanks so much for the $5 super chat. I think Donovan Edwards will be a starter level player next year, whether or not that's a Blake Corum type role where he's catching 2 or 3 passes out of the backfield and getting 15 carries as kind of like the backup running back but playing starter snaps, or if Michigan gets this transfer running back from Arizona State, right, that guy could kind of play the thunder to Blake Corum's lightning, give Corum 18 carries a game, and then you give the opportunity for Donovan Edwards to get 6 or 7 carries a game, but also go out in the backfield and maybe catch 6 or 7 passes because he is an accomplished wide receiver. He's one of the best route runners, especially for an 18, 19-year-old player that I've ever seen in football from the running back position. And hell, he threw a 47-yard pass in stride to Roman Wilson in the Big Ten championship game, so he will be on the field. Low-key, I think Donovan Edwards is a Heisman Trophy candidate next year. He will be someone in the halfway through the season, people will be like, this guy's unbelievable. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes, return a kickoff return for a touchdown. He's got 3 touchdowns receiving, 4 touchdowns rushing, and has got 300-400 yards at midseason, both rushing and receiving. He'll be a truly an all-tool, 3-tool player, maybe 4-tool, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and I think he'll probably be Michigan's starting kickoff returner next year. So Bohannon94 is down there in Columbus, repping Michigan. He's boasting his chest these days because Michigan's got the win over Ohio State, dominated them. You can too. If you're repping Michigan anywhere where Ohio State fans and Michigan State fans are all around you, get this Michigan football Big Ten championship gear. Producer Marshall is going to put that link in the comments. I can do this. I'm going to get this shirt. I'm just going to grab it, green screen style, put this shirt on me. I haven't got mine yet, but I did order one. And Big Ten champs. We've got T-shirts. We've got Orange Bowl shirts, Michigan, Georgia, college football playoff stuff. And there's some memorabilia. There's like plaques and things like that. It's like Big Ten champion. So get going with that. Chatsports.com/champs. It's going there right now. It's in the comments. It was sold out. Almost everything except for like double extra smalls and triple extra larges were sold out like 3 days after the Big Ten championship. Most of the stuff was in stock as of yesterday. I didn't really get a chance to check again this morning or early this afternoon. Stuff for kids, stuff for men, stuff for ladies. Chatsports.com/champs. Get your Big Ten gear. It's the only place. Nike's website, MDen, they were all sold out of it as of Monday, but our partner Fanatics still has it going. Chatsports.com/champs. A couple more supers coming in. Teddy, Elena is it Spanish? It's Ayena, right? We have a nanny whose actually name has 2 L's in her name, and it's pronounced Nayeli instead of Naleli. So from Teddy, he says, those who stay will be champions. Look, I mean, Jim Harbaugh was asked about that in media in the days following the Ohio State game, the Big Ten championship game. At the Heisman ceremony, he was definitely asked about it by what's Fowler's first name? I'm forgetting. Not Jeremy Fowler, the other one, the college football guy. Chris Fowler, yeah, at the Heisman. And he said, those who say will be champions. And Harbaugh said, look, Aiden's dad, Chris, he was my coach, his coach, Bo Schembechler, coined that term, and it hasn't really rung true for Michigan fans over the last 15, 16 years, right? 17-year drought without a Big Ten championship since the 2004 season when they won back-to-back in 03 and 04. Rose Bowl, both losses to USC and Texas, unfortunately. But Michigan is the Big Ten champions now, and I think Jim Harbaugh, I said this earlier in the year, I felt Jim Harbaugh, after the Wisconsin game, I'm like, something's changed in his mind. I feel like he approached the season with 2 things. One, almost like a new job. Everywhere Harbaugh's gone in, Michigan, Stanford, they beat the #1 team in the country his first year. Goes to the NFC Championship game first year with the 49ers after they were 5-11 the year before. Everywhere he's gone, it's been instant change. I feel like things went so bad last year with COVID and everything that's happening, the coaching staff. And Harbaugh's like, first year in the job, anybody who's not on board, get the hell out, right? And he took that, what's the phrase, Brett? It's the darkest before dawn, right? And it's just like nothing worse can happen. I've taken the biggest pay cut in college athletics history. All right, I've got no buyout really. Michigan can fire me, not really pay me anything. So why don't I just take everybody in the room and say, hey, I haven't seen you in the weight room as much as I would expect for a guy who thinks he's a starter. If I don't see your ass in there at 5 a.m. tomorrow, you might want to find another program to play football. I don't know if that exact conversation happened, but I think Jim Harbaugh took that approach. Get the bad guys out, the guys who are all in, the guys who don't want to be champions, and the guys who stay, they have to play, perform, act, train, etc. at a standard that is now the required standard to be part of this program. So I think that Jim Harbaugh, lived that those who stay will be champions mantra, and the guys who stuck around, hopefully, just because they had a great season in 2021, had some big-time leaders like Aiden Hutchinson and Hassan Haskins, that Michigan does not let that mindset go away in the future. You're watching the 2022 Michigan Football National Signing Day special here from the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, James Yoder. Still waiting on Derrick Moore to announce here live on the show on YouTube. We've got what we got here, 1,000 or so of you guys watching, 1,200 of you guys watching, 1,300 of you guys watching now. Want to ask you guys, if you haven't yet, right, subscribe to the channel. We are approaching 18,000 subscribers. It'll be the fastest jump in 1,000 from 17 to 18 in the history of this channel, right? It took us a while to get from 15 to 16, 16 to 17, like about a month or so each, and this one will be about a week and a half, 2 weeks, right, since the right around the Big Ten championship game. So please subscribe. We've got daily Michigan football videos during the season, putting out daily videos all bowl season long leading up to Michigan, Georgia on December 31st. And then we'll have Michigan football content January 1st through 10th. Of course, Michigan versus Alabama or Cincinnati in the national championship game. And then it turns to offseason. Recruiting returns to spring practice. And we've always got the latest news and rumors. And we'll probably put about 4 or 5 shows per week during the offseason once February signing period comes and goes. So subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all you, the day ones, and been with us forever, and really appreciate everybody who's joining us for the first time today. 1,301 of you guys live, 1,304, 275 likes, so like it as well. But subscribe. Let's see if we can get to 18,000 subscribers here while we are live. We'll probably be live for about another 45 minutes at least, and then potentially we could loop the show so you can continue watching afterwards. But we'll put a lot of this content once we get this Derrick Moore commitment, whether it's Michigan or potentially Ole Miss. We'll start going through Michigan's entire class, and we'll put that content out afterwards in the channel, and then we'll do an audience live Q&A. So if you want to be part of the show, stick around here in about 20 minutes or so. We'll do a live Michigan football audience Q&A. Take your questions, and we'll put that on the show afterwards. Subscribe to the channel. Let's recap what we found out today from 2022 Michigan Football Signing Day Spectacular here on YouTube. Darius Clemons out of Portland, a 4-star wide receiver, number 131 total. So what is he, Michigan's 4th highest commit now, right? And 3rd highest signee, obviously, since Will Johnson hasn't. So it's Will Johnson, Keon Sabb, Tyler Morris, another wide receiver. And so now Michigan's got 2 wide receivers there with Darius Clemons and Tyler Morris that are ranked in the top 150 players in the country. So some big-time wide receiver talent coming in, and a lot more weapons for Cade McNamara, J.J. McCarthy, and these 2 quarterbacks as they're part of this class coming in as well. 3 things happened earlier before we were live. Keon Sabb, top 100 player, now Michigan's second highest rated recruit, number 94 in America. Former Clemson commit, IMG Academy the last 2 years from the state of New Jersey. He committed to Michigan earlier this morning. And then Amarian Walker from Louisiana was a Notre Dame commit. Didn't seem like Notre Dame or Brian Kelly gave him enough love when he went down to LSU. So the Louisiana wide receiver, athlete, 3-star, flipped from Notre Dame to Michigan. And then Ethan Burke, right? Was a project prep player, like an unrated, even 1 or 2-star player a month and a half ago. Michigan and Baylor and Texas Tech and some other schools in the Big 12 offered him. Pops up to a 3-star, visits, commits to Michigan. But then Texas swoops in with a last-minute offer here on signing day, and he decides to stick home. He's from Austin, goes to high school at Austin Westlake, so he will not be part of this Michigan football class. Cavante Henry, though, is not signing, right, in February, or not signing until February, said. So I am not considering, although you'll still see Cavante Henry listed on the recruiting website as part of this class. If you don't sign in December when you've got the opportunity, it almost every single time I feel like it turns out that player ends up looking around and picking somewhere else. Shane Johnson. Okay, here's the guy, right? This is the guy. We were talking about him in the office the other day. Beach House. Miami Beach House, all right? Talking to the staff here, production staff with me. King Yoder, live shows in Miami for the game at my beach pad. Let's fucking go. Sorry for the swear words, but he said LFG 2022 class after more signs. FU Ohio. I mean, this is like the best super chat in company history here. I need 1 beer bong next week for sure for super chat. Okay, I'll get a beer bong next week. I think the beer bong is being used by our live show over on Chat Sports YouTube channel right now. But Shane, let me what are we dealing with here? Because how serious are we? You're tossing the super chat, $5, but it looks like a pretty sick pad, bro. I mean, we have the after party there. I mean, do I need to put down the black card and get the celebration services to your house, kind of bachelor party style? Like, I'm interested in hearing what you've got, because Shane tweeted a picture at me last week. Sick view, Miami, overlooking the ocean, probably like the 20th floor of some really nice apartment building. I'm interested, right? Now, I've got a little bit of dilemma here, right? 2 things are going. I was sticking this question for 1 second. Eastside Zach, my man, we got a question coming up from you. Got a little bit of dilemma here. Every year from 1995 until 2019, I went to at least 1 Michigan game, if not 3 to 4 or 5, every single year, no matter if I lived in California or Texas, or I lived in Nevada or D.C. for a while. But I didn't go in 2020 because of COVID and no game people in the stadium. In 2021, I said, you know what? I like doing these post-game shows right away in the studio. I'm just not going to go. I'll go to the Ohio State game. Decided, you know what? I don't want to jinx it. Didn't go to that one. And now I'm like, okay, going to the game. Okay, it's going to be Michigan. Then I got to go to a national title game. But then my wife gets a suite in Dallas from her company. I'm not going to name the company, just to protect her identity. But she's got a suite for the Alabama-Cincinnati game. All drinks paid for. Parking 1 foot from the stadium. And she's like, go to the game with me. Or, hey, go to Michigan if you want, but blah, blah, blah. So if Shane's offer is legit, and if Shane, we got a FaceTime or something like that, because there was a joke. It was like, James, you know what's going to happen? You're going to go down there. Shane's going to chop you up and eat you. That's what someone said. I didn't think of that, Shane. So we'll have to take some sort of some precautions, but it is what it is. Should I go to Miami? So my options for the college football playoff are as follows. It is either go to Miami and cover the game, either fan, or there's still the opportunity to get media credentials, but not have really great post-game coverage right after the game like we've been doing all season. Go to Shane's spot, do a little post-game beach show, hopefully pouring champagne with some entertainment around us after the game. But it won't be for like 2 hours after the game, trying to get out of there after the press conferences, etc. Or do I stick in Dallas, go to the early game, Cincinnati, Alabama, in a 50-yard line suite, leave in the fourth quarter, come back, watch the game here from the Chat Sports studio, and then do an immediate live post-game show after that. So if you're typing yes, you're kind of saying delayed show. We're not going to have really a post-game show until probably the next morning. But also, yeah, if I go, Michigan loses, I caused the jinx. So it's quite the conundrum. The mustache after Michigan State and the watching the first half at home and coming into the studio for second half. It is 12-1 so far this year. So it'd be maybe a tough one to go with. All right. See, quite a bit of yeses coming in. So, gosh, I think I like that one. Shane is Dexter 2021. Shane, no offense, I had to read that because someone here in the office mentioned that last week as well. I don't think that's the case. But Eastside Zach, follow him on Twitter. Just look up Eastside Zach. I can't remember his exact Twitter account. Zach, if you want to put in the comments as well. Great follow. Always retweets my stuff and certainly appreciate him. The star rating system has a lot to do with the divisions they play in and how they'll do in camps. And that's exactly. If you're a big quarterback in the biggest class in Texas, you're facing all the big schools. What's the biggest one in Texas? 6A, right? And by the way, Derrick Moore is now back live, so we're going to bring that to you here in a second. If you're playing 6A and you're a big-time quarterback, you're automatically ranked higher than any other 1, 2A quarterback playing in small-town Texas, small-town Ohio, Michigan. So totally agree with that comment, and we'll see how they do in camps. And some of these guys that Michigan's bringing in didn't really go to camps, right? Corona, COVID, 2 straight summers where they've had all these restrictions. All right, we got Derrick Moore back, all right? You going to his sound or my sound? Okay, no sound from him yet, so we're going to stick with my sound. We could bring both of our sounds. I could just not talk when he talks if it good. He's too loud. All right. Can I'll probably bring him up on my phone so I can listen to it as well. Yeah, you think? What do we think? Or do you guys want to? Let's just hear what it sounds like. I'll let you guys. Do you want the sound or not?
Yeah, real quick, we're about to start.
We're gonna pipe in his sound.
Amazing ceremony that these young men.
I don't.
I want to first begin by praying.
Yeah, play it over there for me, Mark. I want to see what we're dealing with here. Moore committed. Moore, is he Michigan? We're watching him on IG Live here, so if he committed, it's not here. Not vodka. Not vodka. This is water. Last minute water there.
The schools, administrators, the teachers, their aunts, uncles.
Oh my gosh! Can we spin that? What is he doing?
We ask that you cover us. You ask that you allow us to
audio is terrible. We're saying. All right.
We ask this in your son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Okay, should we keep? Okay, guys, should we have Y or an N? Should we keep his audio on right now, or do you want to just keep the video and have me talking through it? Let me know. Yes, we keep his audio. If you type in no, I'll just mute him and we'll just stick to my audio. Let's see. I'm going to see what's going on here. I've got my screen over here, my screen right there. I'm also bringing up my phone because if
and it's been an amazing process to watch them do that. I want to thank everybody that's come here to be able to honor them, but more importantly, I want to thank everybody, parents and everybody included, for the sacrifice that you guys have put forth in order for them to be sitting up here today. So let's give a round of applause for everybody. So normally, no particular order. There's no one bigger than the other. Everybody's as important as the first to the last one that gets announced. But there's one young man that hasn't publicly announced exactly where he's going to go. We're going to start off with him.
Yes, sir. Again. Oh my gosh, they muted it again. They muted, like, whoever's working his iPhone has cut off the audio. What are they doing? Where's the audio? Oh, here we go.
That has got him.
Oh boy. Okay, so his stream is freezing. They're doing Instagram Live. It seems like he gave it to Grandma sitting in the front row, who's never even picked up an iPhone before. But this is just amateur level stuff. Look, this is kind of just an aside as we're waiting, and we get his audio back. We'll go to it as we're waiting for Derrick Moore, 4-star offensive lineman from St. Francis in Baltimore, to commit down between, it seems like Michigan, Ole Miss, although he was committed to Oklahoma for a while. So we'll see what he says. Pulls out the hat. We've got no sound, but we've got the video. I didn't grow up with an iPhone or even really like we had a big desktop computer at home when I was growing up. I am underwhelmed sometimes when we get new hires in for Chat Sports or, we have a babysitter coming over. All right, he commits to Michigan. All right, my little takeaway is there it is. So type yes, type go blue, boom, boom, boom. Hey, Tyler, boost, don't call me a boomer. I'm saying I'm better with technology than most 20-year-olds, most 18-year-olds, but I think hopefully the boomer was towards Grandma in the front row. Derrick Moore, another big signing for Michigan. No sound there, so we'll just stick with my sound, but third top 100 player. Now Michigan's second highest rated member of this class. Will Johnson's number 20 right now in the composite. He is yet to sign, by the way, but I think that's coming here shortly. So I'm gonna get off that stream because it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo there. But why don't we just keep it on there? If they keep the stream going, maybe more comes back on, and we'll find out. So do we have any sound or no? No sound. All right. If Derrick Moore's sound comes back on, this is not our issue, folks. Like, I've got it on 2 screens here, and I've got it on my phone right there. There is no sound coming from his video right now, which is kind of disappointing. It's
compete and be great and have this opportunity.
Gotcha. So, Derrick, what does it feel to be a part of this 2022 Michigan football recruiting class? Oh, yeah. It's still Christmas, right? So, chatsports.com/champs gets your. Was I muted? Am I good now? Oh gosh, you guys. Great day to be Wolverine, right? This. Wow, I like this comment. Maximilian Colby. The Wolverine sucks. Ballas a blowhard. I don't know what that's about, but funny comment. Yeah, they're muting me. I'm trying to be stomped down by the production staff. They don't want my opinions on technology and all this other stuff coming through. What a shit show. I hope SP a million, whatever that was, I'm hoping that was on the Instagram because, again, we had nothing going there. Yep. All right, so talking to the productions team, we are going to get, that is the last expected announcement for this 2022 Michigan football recruiting class. So for all, really intents and purposes, or as the kids say, intensive purposes, that's the culmination of Michigan football's 2022 recruiting class, which will be, 22 members strong? We'll get that final number here. So we're going to have the behind-the-scenes staff put together, get the whole class listed. We're going to start going through each player 23, one by one, with Cavante Henry or not, as I'm talking to without. Okay, so that's that. So Derrick Moore, what a get by Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, right? The sales pitch that Michigan made to him this past weekend was very easy from what I understand of his visit. Spent a lot of time with Mike McDonald, Michigan's new defensive coordinator. Spent a lot of time with Michigan's defensive line coach, and spent a bunch of time with Harbaugh, including, I was told, I don't know if it was either Friday or Saturday, had breakfast with Harbaugh. I'm guessing Saturday. Harbaugh goes to New York City with a defensive end, same position that Derrick Moore is going to play, does the Heisman Trophy ceremony, is back in Michigan to have breakfast with them before he leaves on Sunday. And what does he say? Hey, David Ojabo, Aiden Hutchinson, Derrick Moore, this can be you. You could be an instant impact player. You saw what we've done with your guy, Blake Corum. Your old high school coach, Biff Poggi, is now a Michigan guy. He's on my staff. This is the place where you want to be. And the guys that are recruiting at Ole Miss, by the way. Who are the guys recruiting at Ole Miss? Chris Partridge, former Michigan linebackers and special teams coach and recruiting coordinator, and Devin Bush Sr. Devin Bush's dad is their recruiting coordinator. I know those guys. Why do you think they're working for Ole Miss anymore? They're not Michigan caliber, maybe, right? And so I think it was an easy sell. And Michigan, like I said, I think I've said that phrase a few times, but I've made this point several times this week. Michigan this season is in the right place at the right time to capitalize on the coaching carousel got started faster than ever this season. Coaches are getting fired mid-season. Coaches are getting fired right before the last game was even done. And big-time coaches were jumping from school to school, right? USC gets Oklahoma's coach. LSU gets Notre Dame's coach, etc. Miami gets Oregon's coach. And Michigan's sitting there like, hey, I know there's been these rumors Harbaugh is getting fired, Harbaugh to the NFL, but none of that exists anymore. We're maybe the most stable program outside of Alabama in the country right now is the sales pitch that Jim Harbaugh had to be selling to these players. Plus, we've got a player that was one play away from winning the Heisman Trophy at your position. So excited to see the momentum that comes off of this commitment today from, 4 commitments to Michigan, right? 4 commitments on signing day. Keon Sabb, Omarion, Darius, I'm thinking the first names here, and now this one with Derrick Moore. 4 big-time commits, 3 of them within the top 150 players in the country, and 2 top 100 players. Michigan had 1 top 100 player coming in today. Now they will have 3 top 100 players. Maximilian is just not like Ballas and the Wolverine. He's just lighting up the comments with that. He says he's a DL, not Noella. As I look down the comments, and if you guys feel this, talking to the staff, and you're like, are they talking to me or are they just talking to somebody else in this chat thread? Sometimes it's hard to understand. But with these 4 commits today, let me know. Get the comments rolling. Scale of 1 to 10. 10 is the highest. I am a 9.9. How excited are you for the future of Michigan football? I am a 9.9. Let's get them going. I see a question. I'll get the comments coming in. I'll give some shout-outs if you want to comment. Scale of 1 to 10. I've got I like my guy Shane says, the offer is legit, King. Hit me up. All right, Shane, DM me on Twitter. I don't know if I got a chance to follow you yet, but hit me with the DM on Twitter. We'll get the ball rolling here. I think I took my guy Jeremy Chuggs, one of our producers, to Vegas, spent like $3,000 the day for like 12 hours after the Ohio State game. I could see like I'm going to go bankrupt going down to Miami and just having a wild time with my guy here. So we'll see what happens. Hit me on Twitter, and we'll go there. Trio City, what up, James? Okay, the Georgia fans are here. I got a Let's Go Dogs now, so brutal. A lot of 9s. Tyler says 10. Bob says 9.8. Lot of things. Jeffrey Croft says 8. Jason Clark 9. So type Go Blue if you're a Michigan football fan. Okay, so Bruce in my ear said that we're not only have Georgia fans that are getting through, but they said that we've kind of stomped out hide comments on a couple dozen Georgia fans. They have found the chat. They are go dogging us to death. It seems like they're trying to cancel us with they're trying to get over there. Make sure we cancel them with Go Blues. Let up the chat with Go Blues because production team is trying to have to stomp out a bunch of go dogs that we're going through there. So we want to drown them out, even if we're getting them hiding comments to there. So a couple super chats coming in, and we're going to continue on live. We're going to get into our 2020 recruiting class, go through every single player, give you some takeaways. So stick with us as the Go Blues are pouring in, and then right after that, so about 15 or so minutes from now, we will have your live Q&A that'll be part of a cut that we're going to put on this channel here later in the week. So we've got about 40 more minutes of being live. So everyone who's watching, continue to watch. We appreciate everybody who is part of the show. So Brian Garcia. I was like, what is that name? Garcia. I'm so blind, dude. Great job, Yoder. Why doesn't Michigan get 5-star recruits? Are there no money opportunities for the players? It's such a black box of disinformation going on right now with Michigan, is that everybody who tries to claim they're an insider or they know what's going on inside this program, or I've got a source, they've been saying for a year now, oh, Michigan's got something big coming in name, image, and likeness. But they don't, right? Maybe they do, but it hasn't come to fruition yet. And now we're in a recruiting cycle that other coaches and other programs have used name, image, and likeness to get players. That's how about Texas. Every single offensive lineman who commits to Texas today and all the players on the roster, they're going to get minimum $50,000 just for being a scholarship offensive lineman. Quinn Ewers, NFL draft money, right? That could be millions of dollars to come to Texas. Other schools are allowing their players to have every Ohio State starter basically got a brand new pickup truck or whatever car they wanted. Michigan has only had a handful of deals, right? Blake Corum's got like Subway. By the way, my Subway gear hasn't come. Subway said they're going to send me a bunch of Blake Corum signed memorabilia. And then J.J. McCarthy's got a bunch of small deals. I think he actually did like a commercial or like a social thing for DirecTV. But no one's making hundreds of thousands of dollars, it doesn't seem. It seems like they're in the small tens of thousands, which is great money, right? Don't get me wrong for college football kids. But I think it's right now it comes down to name, image, and likeness. Is Lane Kiffin said it best yesterday. The historical precedence of the best programs get the best players isn't going to be true going forward. Clearly, people still want to play for the best coaches and have an opportunity to win. But if there's $500,000 on the table for a 5-star running back, or no money, or $10,000 from similar schools, they're going to take the $500,000, even if it's from Michigan State over Michigan, or hell, I don't know, Cincinnati over Ohio State. I think a lot of college kids would make that decision because there's no guarantee they're going to make the NFL. Get the money while you can, and I honestly cannot blame them. So thank you so much for Gary for the question. Or Brian Garcia. Gary, my man, 99-cent Gary, says, I'm up to $1.99 on you bums. So we're knocking his 99 cents. He's up to $1.99. So anyone talking trash to Gary, I think he's calling out people here, right? He is saying, hey, if you're going to trash my 99 cents, I just doubled it up, right? Big baller alert. Where you at, all right? So anybody who's not contributed at least $1.99, Gary's flossing. He's rolling around with the big wallets. Appreciate it, Gary. And you're not. So Gary's just called you guys out. All right. Let's use hashtag Michigan. So what we're going to do is hashtag Michigan, what it does is it pulls the questions. You can use it at the beginning of your comment, the end of your comment. As long as you use that hashtag, we will be able to get your comment into the queue, and we will start answering your questions coming up here on the show in a matter of minutes. We're going to go to next. We're going to go through the recruiting class, right? Or do you want to take questions? So we're going to go through the whole recruiting class now, about 12, 15 minutes of that. And then right after that, we're going to take questions. As long as you guys are asking good questions using hashtag Michigan, I will keep answering them. And Super Chat guarantees that you get on the show. So let's keep it rolling. Let's take a look at Michigan's 2022 recruiting class right now. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. 18,000 subscribers is where we are trying to get to here on signing day. We're at 17,850. 1,500 of you guys have subscribed new in the last month or so. So thank you so much to everyone who has, and I appreciate it. So 17,850. We need another 150. I think we can get that on signing day. Subscribe to the channel if you're a Michigan football fan. We'll have videos every single day of the month of December, and Michigan continues to win like they will against Georgia. Have them continuing into January, leading up to the national championship game in Indianapolis. What is it, January 10th, January 11th? Whichever one is one of those days. Let's take a look at the 2022 Michigan football recruiting class here on signing day as our Chat Sports signing day special for Jim Harbaugh's Michigan football recruiting class. That's had a wild day of excitement. You've had a decommit, you've had 4 or so commits, and still waiting for a couple guys to sign on the dotted line. So let's take a look at the players as of now that have signed with Michigan, sent in their letter of intent. Keon Sabb, safety, out of IMG Academy. Tyler Morris out of Chicago, the wide receiver. Zeke Berry out of the state of California, Concord, California, De La Salle High School, a safety. Jimmy Rolder out of Chicago, a potential impact linebacker that I'm excited about. And then Kody Jones, one of Michigan's first commitments in this class, out of the state of Tennessee. He's an athlete. Expect him to come in as a safety cornerback. Could bulk up and potentially be a linebacker for Jim Harbaugh's recruiting class, or Jim Harbaugh's program defense in the coming year. So what a signing day that this program had. And if we look at the players we just went over, Keon Sabb just committed today. Zeke Berry just committed in the last week or two. Jimmy Roller's been around for a while, but it's not a ton of time. He committed to Michigan. I just had it up, but I lost it here. So high-impact guys. You notice we didn't say Will Johnson. We'll talk about the guys who have yet to actually sign their letter of intent that we expect to this afternoon here in a moment. So that's the top 5 players who have actually signed here as of 3:42 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, National Signing Day. So I want you guys grade Michigan's 2022 recruiting class A, B, C, D, or F. You might get hit with a YouTube ad here, so while this ad plays, if it does, go down in the comments and let me know what your grade is for this class. I'm giving it an A-, A, B, C, D, or F. Go down, I'll pin this comment beneath the video. Comment, and then scroll back up. We'll keep rolling with our Michigan football signing day spectacular. All right, the next batch of 5 guys who have actually signed on the dotted line, set in their letter intent. Tight end Colston Loveland, all-name team out of Idaho, the best football player in the state of Idaho this year. Out of Anaheim, California, defensive lineman Mason Graham, 6'4", 295, projects to play in the middle. Another all-name. I mean, this is just an all-name this is an all-name graphic. Every one of these guys is great. Mason Graham, that's even a great name. Alex Orji, if he's the starting quarterback for Michigan, or maybe he switches positions. I've had some recruiting guys in the state of Texas talk to me today saying, hey, he might be a guy who changes position. If he gets in the game, Michigan all announcers will just have Gus Johnson. It's an orgy in Ann Arbor. That'll be amazing to see. He's a quarterback commit, flipped today from Virginia Tech to Michigan. So there's actually, 5 guys who have committed today, right? So I forgot about Orji. Never forget about an orgy. Amarion Walker flips from Notre Dame to Michigan out of the state of Louisiana, and then another great name, Marlin Klein. You gotta have a lot of confidence. Name your son Marlin after a fish. So Marlin Klein, tight end out of the state of Georgia. Michigan was all over the map in a good way. Texas, California, clearly Georgia, Florida, the state of Michigan. They went all over the map and got a recruiting class that when things shake out, we'll wait for the recruiting classes to update here momentarily. This is a top 10 class, and there's potential with when these last few guys get into the rankings. Potentially could be number 7, potentially be number 6. We'll see where they shake out. I'm excited about it. I don't think there's as many instant impact guys in this class as you'd expect because Michigan doesn't need instant impact guys next year. So this class will start to make their mark in the 2023, 2024 season and beyond. But you guys can make your mark this Christmas by hooking up a friend, a coworker, a family member, or send this link to someone that you know that is looking for a gift. We're just texting my sisters. Hey, what can I get your son? What can I get your daughter? What can I get your kids for Christmas coming down the stretch? I'm sending him this link. I'm saying, hey, get my son Preston. He's become a Michigan fan at 5 years old. Get him a Big Ten Championship Kids t-shirt. The link is in the comments and the description of the video, chatsports.com/champs. We'll keep that video live, or that link live, I'm sorry, through the rest of the month of December. So if you come back in a couple weeks, always remember chatsports.com/champs. Everything as of now this morning was in stock. Nike and some other websites, MDN, were out of stock on almost everything good. So take a look. We've got things back in stock for you, chatsports.com/champs. All right, let's keep rolling through these Michigan football recruits. The Pollard brothers are in this next set of 5. They're not actual brothers, but hey, what are the odds that you've got 2 guys named Pollard? Myles out of Tennessee, the cornerback, been committed to Michigan since last summer. And then Alessandro Lorenzetti, offensive tackle out of the state of Connecticut, kind of one of those East Coast Don Brown style guys, but he's got quite a motor on him, number 660 player in the country. Micah Pollard out of Jacksonville, Florida, linebacker that a lot of people are excited about. His speed and his playmaking ability, 3-star. CJ Stokes, running back out of South Carolina, and then Damani Dent, maybe the highest upside guy in this class. I think Damani Dent reminds me of Rod Moore. Was on anybody's radar. Didn't get the big offers. Michigan swooped in, got him, and he will be a playmaker down the road. Although I think he's a little too raw to potentially make an impact from day one coming up next year. Take a look at some more signed recruits, kind of towards the bottom of this class as far as rankings from the guys who are signed. Deuce Spurlock, what a name on him. Deuce, the deuce is loose. Look, rule of thumb. Make sure you take a deuce before you get in with Alex Orgy because you don't want things to pop up there. And then Kody Jones, the lowest rated member of this class, at least that's signed so far. But I think he is one that if I were to say of the 3-star guys and below, right? I'm not going to try and project 3 stars against 4 and 5. But the players that are ranked in this class 3-star or less, I guess they're all 3 stars at this point. There's no such thing as a 2-star anymore. I think Kody Jones is the one that has the most potential to be all Big Ten player. I think he will be a starter by, maybe it's not his second year in the program, certainly not for his first year, but by 2024, his 3rd year in the program, redshirt sophomore, he will be a starter, I think, and he potentially could be a 2 or 3-time all Big Ten player. So I hope it kind of shakes out, but his film and what people have been saying about him and his dedication and work ethic, I am really excited to see what becomes of Kody Jones down the stretch. Look at this graphic, folks. Michigan has some big-time players coming to this class. These guys have not signed yet, well, because 2 of the 3 of them have just committed to Michigan in the last 30 minutes. Will Johnson, top 20 player in the country, the best football player in the state of Michigan in the 2022 class, cornerback. Deion Johnson's his dad, former Michigan football player, cornerback in the early 90s. He's the star. He's the J.J. McCarthy, Donovan Edwards of this class. He is the linchpin. Has yet to sign, though, so we're going to keep an eye on this as it develops. Expect him to sign at a press conference at his school with other athletes this afternoon. Derrick Moore just committed to Michigan live on our signing day show via Instagram Live, number 79 player in the country out of St. Francis Academy in Baltimore. He was a high school teammate of Blake Corum a couple years apart. And then Darius Clemons out of the state of Oregon, Portland, picked Michigan over the hometown team, Oregon Ducks, and, of course, Penn State and Auburn were the teams that he decided on Michigan over. So that was exciting. I want to know from you guys. Give me your one word to describe this recruiting class. One word to describe this recruiting class. I think it's a weird word maybe to say. It's fulfilling, right? What do I mean by fulfilling? I think you filled in all the roster gaps and needs that Michigan will have in the future, except maybe high-end, high-impact running back. I don't necessarily think C.J. Stokes is a guy who can step in as a true freshman or maybe as a second year and be a 20-carry-a-game guy like we've seen from Blake Corum and expect from Donovan Edwards. So maybe a high-end running back didn't get the job done, but fulfilling wide receiver is good for the future now with 3 wide receivers. 2 quarterbacks coming in, so you've got more depth than you had, and you're kind of you have insurance in case anybody decides to transfer after maybe the 2022 season. Offensive line, defensive line, skill position players, and heck, secondary. Michigan has just a boatload of players in the secondary who will be big-time players. Will Johnson, obviously Keon Sabb, and some others. Zeke Berry out of the state of California as well. So give me your one word to describe this recruiting class. Now, let's take a look at the rest of this class. Keon Grant, top 500 defensive lineman, has yet to sign yet as of expected to sign, but as 3:50 p.m. here on Wednesday, has yet to sign with Michigan. Jayden Denegal, Jayden Denegal just signed. We just got through the wire. As we are filming, he just signed, so he'll move up to the has signed class. Been coming to Michigan for a couple months now, a few months now, and Michigan brought in another quarterback. So I don't know if that's a sign that they don't necessarily have a lot of faith in him, but I don't think that's the case. Although Jayden Denegal is probably a bit of a project where he isn't as I guess developed at the quarterback position as some of the quarterbacks that come out, like J.J. McCarthy, and can make an impact from day one. So I think he's one that commits, signs to Michigan, and then will be potentially be part of the quarterback battle once J.J. McCarthy decides to move on, and Cade McNamara from this program, whether through transfer or if both of them get the shot to start and go on from there. So that is your Michigan football recruiting class. Aaron Alexander there, I said, keep an eye out for him, folks. He is an underrated, under kind of hyped recruit out of Belleville, and he is a playmaker, fast, potentially a little bit undersized, but in a lot of ways reminds me of potentially a young Devin Bush. We're going to take your questions here live on the show. Use hashtag Michigan. But before we do, I break out my iPhone here. I'm going to look at my account. The next 15 people who follow me on Twitter, I will give shout-outs here throughout the rest of the show. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter. It's at James Yoder. If we can get that link in the live chat. I'm not sure if we got it there yet. We do have it there. I saw. I will give shout-outs here before we take your questions. So follow me on Twitter. I'm going to give you shout-outs. I'm following you back, right? So I'll give shout-outs, and then what it says on the screen there, I will follow back the next 15 people who follow me. I've already got 9 followers, so I'm going to give shout-outs to them live here, and I'll follow back. Marty, Florida. So Florida with 2 A's. Marty, Florida. Florida man. This is a great description. Florida man, big car guy, hashtag one pride. So Lions fans. Eric Jenkins, EP Jenkins 3. I've got Samuel Barneck just followed me, Michigan fanatic. Fez Ferrari, thank you so much for following. Darnell, who is Darnell 1991, or maybe it's 19. I think it's 199I actually. Forrest Burt 1. Dan Bedner, which is DKB 9191. Shannon Miller E5 or Miller SE5. I'm following him back. Willie. Ann Arbor's a whore. I don't know. Willie, I'm going to follow you back, but that's unacceptable. Ann Arbor's a whore. That's a bad joke. I think that guy just made the account. I'm going to look at that guy. No, he's actually he's had this account since 2011. Ann Arbor's a whore. It's pretty funny. It's a long con there. And then Wizard, Mayhem02, Mahem02. I just followed all you guys back. So I got a couple more, actually. Let me just stick with this for 1 second. Producer Brett. And we'll be at 15, I think. Raimundo Martinez, which is Remundo, go blue. Follow me. Fuzzski, Fuzzski 87. Tanner Orona, _Big O72, following you back. And then Mike Musali, it's spelled Moussalli. I was reading those out so other people can't follow, but you can go on my Twitter account and check out the last 15 people I just followed and follow them back. More Michigan fans that you can follow yourself. So use hashtag Michigan. Brandon just followed, so give one more shout out. Brandon 050463221. Thank you so much. I will continue to give shout outs. I'll keep it looking there while we're live on the show. Even though we've hit the 15 number, I'll keep giving some shout outs. But use hashtag Michigan. We're going to now do a live question and answer that we'll also put on the YouTube channel as its own standalone video here later in the week. It is our Michigan football live question and answer coming on signing day. Use hashtag Michigan to get in the comments, get your question answered on air. We're filming this live on Wednesday after Michigan's top 10 recruiting classes basically all come in, everybody we expected, and we're waiting for a few more people to sign that will come in. But we're taking live questions that we'll post also on the YouTube channel here on Friday or so. First question coming up from Twan Wills. How can we fix or make better our NIL pitch? Because I feel like it's costing us some elite recruits. Delmonte Jackson, if he decides to go elsewhere, which it seems, of course, like he will. Walter Nolan, big NIL guy. And it's going to continue, right? It's not going to be something that changes. And the transfer portal is going to be very NIL focused. Players don't have to sit out a year. Quinn Ewers didn't have to sit out the 2022 season. He can play at Texas next year and listen to whatever pitch they have. So there's been a lot of talk, it's coming, it's going to be huge, but it hasn't happened yet. Michigan needs to authorize me, Jim Harbaugh. I can go out and raise $10 million from Michigan alums and just say, hey, anytime you come on Chat Sports on YouTube channel, I'm going to give you $10,000. You don't think Michigan will start getting better recruiting classes? We can do that. I'm not going to pay that money out of my own pocket, all right? I mean, look, balling out of control, but not that big. So Michigan just needs to authorize their alumni to go forward. I know there are alumni. Stephen Ross, right, owns the Miami Dolphins, owns one of the biggest real estate companies in the world, the related companies. You don't think he could offer, hey, go do a ribbon cutting in my new building. I'll give you $100,000, J.G. McCarthy. I just don't know why they haven't. Michigan seems to be too scared. They're going to break rules, get investigated. Needs a change. They need to get with the program. I think Jim Harbaugh has shown over the years that he is part of that get with the program, and now he has the confidence to go and demand it from Michigan's president, athletic department, regent. Says, hey, we can't be held back any longer with any outside restrictions. Next question coming in from blank name. Your mama call you a blank name? I'm going to call you a blank name. I think Zeke Berry could be the best player in this class when all is said and done. I wish I could give you, more of a take on Zeke Berry. He committed in the last few weeks, and I watched film on him that day. But it was right in the middle of Michigan playing Ohio State and Iowa and everything that went into that. And I was just trying to see, okay, my focus is on Damani Jackson. My focus is on some of these guys like Derrick Moore that were making official visits. And I'll tell you what, I didn't give him the breakdown and the analysis of his film that I should have. I read what others have. I typically, when I give a take on a guy, I want to at least watch a substantial amount of his film. So his recruiting ranking says he's going to be an impact player. But Michigan has had this challenging thing from the state of California in the last few years. They have had highly rated defensive backs. They have not panned out at Michigan, right? What's his name? I can't remember the kid. He's a sophomore. He was a top 100 player 2 years ago. His name is, that's how Donovan Green Warren. Yeah. Amongst others. I'm just trying to remember the guy's name. Has not made any impact. So we'll see what happens here. There's another true freshman this year, cornerback, who I'm not going to mention his name, that a lot of people think is going to transfer. Zeke Berry is up against some bad precedent from DBs in the state of California. It's been a while for Michigan. I think David Long, in the 2016 class, was the last guy I think came in and was a multi-year starter out of the state of California in the secondary. But I'll say trust your word on it, though. Zeke Berry, impact player, I'm all for it because he was not one that I expected to be a part of this class a month ago. Go ahead and grade Michigan's recruiting class, this 2020 recruiting class that's going to end up in the top 10. And when the final class rankings come in, heck, they could be in the top 6, 7, 8. Most of the recruiting services have them right at number 9 right now, but I don't think that's factoring in Derrick Moore and Darius Clemons yet. So A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you guys think about this recruiting class. I'm going to give it an A-, not a high-end running back, and not enough 5 stars, right? You can't give a class an A unless it's got 3 5 stars, 2 3 5 stars, and maybe 4 or so top 50 players. Michigan now has 3 top 100 players, but not enough of those very, very top elite players. Angel Martinez, Yoder, please marry my daughter. If I relocate to Utah, polygamy, I'll consider it. Right? Sup. DM me the picture as long as she's of age. I'm a gentleman and a scholar, so I consider it. But no ring on. But I do. According to the state of Texas, I still have a marriage going on. So, yeah, Michigan man, by the way, David Long, solid QB from Cali. That's what I mentioned. But let me know. I may be on the market in the future. You never know, okay? You never know. But I think I'm pretty happily married as of today. After she watches this, I might not be. James, interesting question. The way OSU is built with a pass-heavy offense. Is Michigan recruiting specifically to stop the high-powered pass-heavy teams? I think they are, and it seems like they are, although that they haven't come out and said it. But I look back to what the personnel on the field was this year, and it felt like once you got past those first few games, more run-heavy teams, Wisconsin and Nebraska, and kind of into the Michigan State game, after that, Rod Moore became a starter, right? He got in the lineup over R.J. Moten. And then Dax Hill was completely out of the safety game. They were going to continue to put Dax Hill a little here, a little there. And then Junior Colston, right, overtook Nakai Hill-Green. Why did Rod Moore and Junior Colston become starters as true freshmen? They could cover in 4 and 5 wide receiver sets. So it seems to me with bringing in 5 guys, 6 guys in the secondary, that Michigan is definitely making a push to be deeper, right? But it's exciting to see what they've got going on now. Steve Klinkscale, Ron Bellamy coaching the secondary, because last year's Michigan secondary, the worst in school history probably, at least in modern history. And they came back and didn't shut down Ohio State, but they were a very, very good secondary this year. Great coaching, cohesiveness, better scheme to fit there, and now they've got higher rated recruits coming in outside of Daxton Hill than Michigan would have put on the field here in 2021. Let's beat Ohio State again. Spam the comments, spam the live chat with Bosa. There's a twofold Bosa right now. It's past tense. We beat Ohio State again. And hey, let's beat Ohio State again. Back-to-back 2022. Funny enough, I tweeted this out, got all the Ohio State fans riled up on Twitter yesterday. I said, there are kids who are entering their third year of life who have never seen Ohio State beat Michigan in football. Just absolute sham of a program, right? They're letting the entire state of Ohio kids just come up on their third birthday, have never seen Ohio State beat Michigan. Very sad to see. Very, very sad to see. And Ryan Day, going to his fourth year next year, has never beat Michigan at home. Hot seat? If he loses to Michigan next year, I think Ryan Day might actually be on the hot seat the way Ohio State fans have been accustomed to beating Michigan. So type Bosa. We're going to keep it rolling. I see some Bosas coming in from Michael and Justin and my guy Michael Davis, Jeff Perry. Jeff Perry says, go Buckeyes. Let's delete that guy. Cancel him off YouTube, delete his YouTube account to the production staff. All right, keep it rolling here. Brady Schwartzberg, hashtag Michigan, of course. When is Josh Connolly signing his national letter of intent, and what is the likelihood he comes to Michigan? I'm feeling better about Connolly than I was maybe 3 or 4 days ago because USC and Washington have given them their best pitch. Excuse me. USC came in with, hey, we got Lincoln Riley. We're going to turn this recruiting class around. We're going to be the leaders in the state of California. We're going to dominate, et cetera, et cetera. And then Washington. Part of the reason he was interested in Michigan in a lot of ways is Courtney Morgan, Michigan's director of player personnel, made him a focus, the 5-star offensive tackle out of Seattle. But now Courtney Morgan is the director of player personnel at Washington. They've made a push, but still didn't get him to sign today. He's still considering his option. I'm actually putting it as better than 50-50 that Michigan will get Josh Connolly. He is not enrolling early, and he's going to weigh out his options. He's playing high school basketball as a senior, but I think it's 55. I would give Michigan 55%, and then maybe Washington 30 and USC 15%, handicapping that right now down the stretch here on the early National Signing Day. I don't know when he's going to sign, but clearly I think he's probably just going to wait until February to sign, but he could commit to somewhere here in the next coming weeks. All-Star games coming up. There's been some chatter that he could make an announcement there in early January, so keep your eye out for those All-Star games, which come up usually with the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th of January every year. We will keep you updated on Josh Connolly on this channel, and to keep updated, make sure you are subscribed so you get our videos in your YouTube feed. Continue to grow the channel. You don't have to go, hey, where's that Yoder guy? I remember that video. That was cool. If you subscribe, you show up in the subscribe tab on YouTube, and turn on notifications. You get a notification alert every time we either do a live video or post another video on your iPhone, your Android. We're at 17,889. I'd love to get to 18,000 by the end of signing day, so we need 111 of you to get going and subscribe, so really appreciate everyone who has. If you haven't yet, subscribe, and if you have, send to a friend who's a Michigan football fan. Say, yo, subscribe to Yoder. Let's get him to 18,000. Spawn, I love you, baby. I love you. Have a Merry Christmas. It's going to be a merry one because we just got $70 in Super Chats today from Spawn. Really appreciate it, man. It means a lot that you would do that. It's your hard-earned money. There's nobody, forcing you to donate, and you don't even want anything. You just want to say go blue and wish me a Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. We've got our company holiday party coming up on Friday. We're going to take Spawn's cash and $70. That's good for a round of drinks for a few of the staff members, so thank you so much to Spawn. Have a Merry Christmas, Spawn, and hopefully it's a very Merry New Year with Michigan coming off a win against Georgia coming up on December 31st. Michael Smith, how confident are you that J.J. McCarthy will win us a championship or at least a Heisman? I'm confident that he's going to win a championship, whether it's a Big Ten championship, national championship, because I don't think Michigan's going to get worse in the coming years. I believe, as I said on our live show earlier, is that Jim Harbaugh seems to have hit a point where I think things are pulling him in different directions. He probably had coaches on his staff for a year or two that he didn't necessarily think were the best guys for the program. He probably gave Don Brown 2 years extra leash and didn't have his hands enough in the defense. But brought on Mike McDonald, brought on Matt Weiss on the offensive side of the ball. Two guys he has known from his brother and Matt Weiss from 13 years ago when he was a GA for Harbaugh at Stanford. Feels that he's got a great group of coaches, got Mike Hart, Ron Bellany, who are Michigan guys driving the culture. And so I think it'll come down to Michigan, Ohio State for the next 2-3 years with J.J. McCarthy. The winner of that game, likely to win the Big Ten. And so I'm pretty confident once J.J. McCarthy is in the starting lineup, be it next year or potentially 2 years, 3 years down the road, I think he'll win a Big Ten title for Michigan. Let me know, end of the season next year. Let's just say Ohio State game next year. Barring injuries, let's just say both guys are healthy, who will be the starting quarterback for Michigan 1 year from now, end of the regular season? Who is Michigan's starting quarterback? I think there's a chance that Cade can win it, but then JJ takes over. But it's a crazy conundrum. It reminds me of Georgia after the 2017 season. They went to the national title with a redshirt freshman quarterback. True freshman quarterback, Jake Fromm. Cade, although he's his third year of the program, he's technically a redshirt freshman because 2020 didn't count against eligibility. He's got 3 years left. JJ's got 3 years left. It could be one of these situations where JJ's Michigan's Justin Fields. He starts looking around. I think it's really tough. It'd be really, really tough for Michigan to go away from Cade McNamara, given what he has proved he can do for this program. So let me know, Cade or JJ. We're going to keep taking questions, but for this cut that we're going to put on YouTube, this is the last question we'll take, but keep getting your hashtag Michigans in the comments. Terry Power says, I feel like we need more speed at linebacker. Did we get that with this class? Yes and no. Myles Pollard fits into that. I'm sorry. I looked at the list because I thought I was going to do that. Micah Pollard, Myles Pollard is a faster guy, right? 6'3", 200. He's a big body player, but he has some speed. But the player I'm excited about from a linebacker position for a speed perspective is Aaron Alexander out of Belleville, Michigan. Was a 0-star, then like a 2, now a 3-star. But he's the 1,000th best player in the class, and I could see him being a day one starter on special teams on kickoff returns next year. And I'll just tell him, Aaron, just do like Devin Bush did in 2016. As soon as the ball is kicked, run as fast as humanly possible and just eject your body into a blocker and then try and get to the ball carrier. And I think he will be a starter in a couple of years. He'll be one of these players like, how is that guy a lowly rated 3-star? He's a second-team All-American in 3 or 4 years from now. So I'm excited about Aaron Alexander. He's one who could also end up moving into the secondary. Like, he's got the frame and the speed. Maybe he could be big safety at some point, but Michigan has him slated for linebacker right now. So excited to see what comes of him. I think Michigan has addressed a lot of their concerns. It's a satisfying, fulfilling class from a lot of different ways. Wide receiver, offensive, defensive line, linebacker, secondary, and, of course, getting some depth at cornerback. Let's take a look at Michigan's the top 25 classes in college football recruiting. This is, as of right this second, 4:06 p.m. Eastern on signing day. These are the top classes in college football 2022 recruiting. I want to go through those and keep it rolling. So keep getting your questions in, by the way. Hashtag Michigan. We'll do another round of live Q&A. Texas A&M, 23 commits. They are your recruiting national champions as of now, right? Still things happening. Alabama, Georgia, 22 commits for Alabama, 26 for Georgia. Ohio State, they had one of the best classes, trending towards one of the best classes ever in 2022. And then they had Quinn Ewers reclassified. They had a 5-star corner, decided to flip and to Georgia. And so now they've dropped to number 4. Texas is having themselves the last couple days, including today, taking Ethan Burke from Michigan. They've got the number 5 class in the country. Big Ten rival Penn State coming in at number 6. They were the number 1 class for a long time in 2022 as well. When everybody started building up into the 20 commits, etc. Penn State's lack of high-end players ended up hurting them. Didn't get a top 5 there, number 6. Notre Dame holds on to a pretty dang good recruiting class. One flip today on Marion, the wide receiver flipping from Notre Dame to Michigan. Mac Brown, North Carolina, with only 17 commits, being in there at number 8 is pretty commendable, given that they obviously have a very high star average and have got a lot of high impact players. More than Michigan, more 4 stars than Michigan at this point. Michigan coming in at number 9, 22 commits. And then Oklahoma, small class, but they have had a really big run. I think 3 top 100 players in the last 24 hours for Oklahoma. So, they've got, what's the coach's name? Brent Venables, is having himself a nice turnaround in his first week on the job at Michigan, or at Oklahoma. But let's use hashtag Michigan. Get your questions live. Get your questions on there using hashtag Michigan. We're going to put you back into the top of the queue, and producers will start putting your questions here live on the show. We're going to do another round of Q&A that we will put on the channel later on in the week. So if you want to get on the show twice, now and later on in the week, we put this as an on-demand YouTube cut. Use hashtag Michigan to get your comments in. Sounds like we've got some stuff going on in the background here. We're going to kind of think, all right, Walter Nolan. So they said, hey, some breaking news, James. Walter Nolan has actually signed with Texas A&M. There were some rumors out there that Nolan was going to wait, like some other players, and not immediately sign with A&M, but it wasn't going to decommit. And there's some chat out there. Hey, maybe somebody else coming in with a better NIL offer. Maybe he's going to take another couple of visits, look around. But nope, he has signed with Texas A&M. Give myself a drink of water here before we start the next cut. So Walter Nolan won't be any sorts of signing day surprise. Let's see. Robert, confirms A&M's number one. Right? They were number one before he signed that class. Now they added a top 2 player in the country. They are the undisputed number 1 player class in the country. NIL, right? I got Justin says effing NIL, and NIL is killing us. I agree. I mean, I think Michigan could have had a lot better shot with Damani Jackson, Walter Nolan, had they had some sort of guarantee or some sort of at least expectation that NIL is coming and Michigan's going to be a part of the next wave of college football, where college football players can get paid. So there's still 900, or I'm sorry, I just updated 700 of you watching. So use hashtag Michigan. Let's get your questions here live on the Michigan Football Report. I'm your host, James Yoder from Chat Sports. It's the Michigan Football Report signing day question and answer live mailbag, taking questions on our Wednesday live show. Posting this on the weekend as well. So thanks so much for watching, everyone who watched live and are watching here on demand as well. Let's take some Michigan football questions using hashtag Michigan here on the show. Mr. Bombastic. That's like a rap lyrics. Mr. Bombastic. It's Shaggy, I think. Does Michigan need to change their approach in NIL or run the risk of being left in the dust of schools like Texas? There's no doubt about it. Right? There's no doubt about it. If you think about, look, let's just use the history of college football for example. What's the difference between Harvard and Yale and Army and Navy, schools that were winning national titles 100 years ago, even 60, 70 years ago in the 30s, 40s, into the 50s? Army and Navy were still competitive at national level in the 60s, right? It's the scholarship, right? Harvard, Yale, Princeton, those schools, Ivy League schools, don't do athletic scholarships anymore. And so why, if you're a top recruit, you're a smart kid, would go to an Ivy League school, you're not going to go to Harvard and have to pay your own way. You're going to go to Michigan. You're going to go to Notre Dame. You're going to go to Stanford. You're going to go to Cal if you want academics and athletics. And that's what's going to play out in the future. There will be haves and have-nots. Michigan better get on board with the haves. Put together a pool. I'll administrate it if you want. If you, Jim Harbaugh, Michigan's recruiting department, if you're watching this like I know you always do, here is my deal to you. I will sign it. I'll send a deal. You guys introduce me to the people you want to, the boosters. We'll put money in the Michigan NIL fund, and we'll make this thing. Any recruit who wants to come on and announce with us $50,000 if you're going to Michigan, if you're a 4-star guy, $100,000 if you're a 5-star, and then players once you're there, weekly appearances, $10,000, right? Cool, we got it. We've done. NIL is solved for Michigan right here between Mr. Bombastic and me here on the Michigan Football Report. Antonio Coleman, thank you for the question. What does our starting DBs look like? It's not going to be much different, right? Next year, you're going to have Vincent Gray. You're going to have DJ Johnson, the starting corners this year. Gemon Green expected to be back, but he's kind of been passed over. We'll see what happens with Will Johnson, right? Does he come in and make an instant impact? Is he a guy who rotates in a bunch? Or does Michigan play him sparingly on special teams as a first-year player? I expect him to play, but I doubt he starts next year. Rod Moore will be one of your starting safeties, and then there'll be a bunch of other guys, including R.J. Moden and a handful of other players that will compete for that secondary. But Michigan's got at least their starting cornerbacks coming back. Starting safety, Rod Moore, a guy who started the last 4 games of the year, and then 5 or 6 freshmen that can make an impact. I don't think any will start immediately, but Rod Moore, remember, 3-star, 1,000th best player in the country last year. He was starting by about the 10th game of his freshman year. Here's the question, though, for you guys. We had that question coming in there about Michigan's secondary. Does Will Johnson, Michigan's 5-star, highest rated player in this class, cornerback, does he start at any point as a true freshman in this 2022 class? This is the point of the video where YouTube might get you an ad break, so I'll pin this comment or this question below the video. Scroll on down, answer the question. Let me know, does Will Johnson start as a true freshman? Scroll back up, and the ad will probably be over, and we'll continue on with the video. Next question coming in from Average Gamer. It must be Gamer Dude's brother, right? You got this guy, Gamer Dude, awesome. Maybe you're an Ohio State fan, so if that's the case, he's a bum, but this is his brother, Average Gamer. With all the commits today, how do you feel now going into 2022 versus how you felt before? I mean, look, I have never felt worse about a Michigan football team than going into this 2021 season, right? And that makes me wrong. That says I don't know anything. Guilty as charged, I guess. But the turnaround Jim Harbaugh had this year is the reason why he's the AP National Coach of the Year. It's why Michigan has they've got a Heisman Trophy runner-up in Aiden Hutchinson. They've got multiple All-Americans. They've got the best kicker in college football. And they lost the best running back in the Pac-12, Zach Charbonnet. They lost, potentially, like a guy who signed last year, Xavier Worthy, the best wide receiver for Texas. And then they lost a bunch of guys who are in the NFL, right? One of the top schools for producing NFL draft picks. But they had guys who wanted to play for Michigan and guys who were committed to what Harbaugh wanted to run. So I am feeling 5 billion times better about Michigan going into 2022 than I did 2021. Michigan will be a top 5 team in the country going into next year's polls, the preseason. If they beat Georgia, they're top 3. If they beat Georgia and Alabama, win the national title, Michigan's your preseason number 1. Guaranteed 100% facts if they win the national championship and go head toe-to-toe with, obviously, Georgia and likely Alabama. John Blaze with the Super Chat. Thank you so much, John. I'm assuming it's the same John Blaze from Twitter as well. So, I've been interacting with him on Twitter for probably a couple of years at this point. Go Blue. Who will be our next game changers on defense and on offense? I mean, I don't know if next is the right word for game changer, but Diamond Edwards is a superstar in the making next year. I'm really excited to see what Michigan and now Josh Gass appears, unless something changes with another job coming open. He'll be the OC next year, and Michigan staff should stay intact. Almost every guy I expect to come back. So what they did with Diamond Edwards, from catching 10 passes in one game to then throwing a touchdown pass, having a running touchdown, he will be all over the field for Michigan, and on special teams, I expect him to be the starting kick returner next year. So chug me down for Diamond Edwards. Also one, Andrell Anthony, right? He had a big game against Michigan State. Didn't get him involved, but you can see the athleticism. Reminds me of a Braylon Edwards, just exuding size and athleticism and the ability to go up, which Michigan has rarely had in the last few years, and out-jump a defender and make a catch. Defensive side of the ball, I'm going to say Junior Colston is the guy who will be the breakout star of next year's Michigan football team. He started 7, 8, 9 games this year, taking over for Nikai Hill-Green, and he'll, of course, start next year and I think be the breakout star of this defense. Michigan's going to play Georgia in 2 weeks, folks. And if you want to make some money, win when Michigan wins, get that bankroll going and doing with the best deposit bonus in the game. Get going with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/blue. Go Blue. If you do that, it'll track you to this promotion. And all you got to do is make your first deposit and type in that promo code GoBlue. No spaces. Type in GoBlue, and you'll get a 125% deposit bonus. Use that to put money on some bowl games. Look, betting on bowl games is actually the funnest thing. You can put $10, $5 in every game, and you get this deposit bonus. You put 100, you got 225. You can put $5 in every single bowl game, and everything means a little bit more to you. And hey, put a 50 burger on Michigan money line. It's like plus 220 or something like that right now. You'll get your 50 back, plus you have like $125 in winnings. Chatsports.com/GoBlue. Use BetUS, our preferred sportsbook partner, with that promo code GoBlue. It's time to put our, what on the table. Put them on the table, folks. We're recording this. Document this, Marshall. Wink, wink. Everyone says yes or no. We're gonna write this down from the live chat and on demand afterwards, and we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna go through everyone's answer on a show coming up here on January 1st or 2nd, the post game show. Anyone who's doubting Michigan now, roll call. I think Michigan's gonna win. Right? That's not me being a Michigan homer, a BS or anything like that. I've been telling you all year, and I think Michigan's gonna win and lose. I think the offensive game plan they can bring to the table against Georgia can score 25, 30, 40 points even if they get it rolling. I just don't see where Georgia can score 30 points on Michigan. I honestly don't see it. And if you get the Reapers, David Hutchinson and Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo, if they're making the plays like they have all season, I mean, it's lights out for Georgia's quarterback game. And hell, Georgia, they might only score 10, 14 points in this one. So I'm going with yes. In the live chat, almost unanimous yeses. I'm going to see if I see any no's really quick here. I'm going to call them out. Nope, no no's. No no's. It's all 100% yes. We'll see what the on-demand Michigan Football Report audience thinks on this one as well. Super chat coming in is, you can't spell dumb mooks without bucks. That's the F word. So if you just take bucks, replace with the S. I've seen you can't spell blank sucker without OSU before. I like this one too. You can't spell dumb mooks without bucks. I had some people complaining about the swearing after the Ohio State game, more than normal. So I'm gonna keep the swear words down a little bit here on this one. But he says, just got a Mays Jordan jersey for the Georgia game. Go Blue. What are your thoughts on us beating Ohio State next year if Ryan Day goes to the Bears? I mean, if Ryan Day goes to the Bears, Ohio State might have a coaching upgrade, right? Luke Fickell could play against Alabama, lose, and slide over to that Ohio State job pretty easily. Although, hey, Michigan did beat him in his one season as interim coach in 2011. I feel good no matter what happens against Michigan going forward, because the passing game, Ohio State and programs like Alabama and Clemson and Oklahoma and others have shown over the last years. I don't see any way Michigan can ever beat any of these teams because they just can't stop these passing offenses. Justin Fields destroyed Michigan. Dwayne Haskins destroyed Michigan. Mac Jones destroyed Michigan when he was the backup in the bowl game a couple years ago. But now Jim Harbaugh has figured it out. He brought a system that doesn't put these cornerbacks on islands. Like, you don't have David Long and Jordan Lewis back there. You can't put under-talented cornerbacks on islands in one-on-one coverage, especially putting your fourth safety on a slot receiver. But Michigan's figured it out right now. So whatever happens going forward, whether it's Michigan or facing a passing attack like Alabama, I think Michigan's going to have the right game plan. It's whether or not they can execute and come up with the right calls at the right time. And you always need maybe a little bit of luck against these big-time football teams to get the win. Bosa beat Ohio State again. Want to beat Ohio State again. It's a past tense, right? We beat Ohio State again, but I want to keep going forward. So, Yoder killing with Shane Johnson. I like that comment. Yoder killing with a 2-hour show. You're damn right we are. Type Bosa in the comments. BOSA. Let's beat Ohio State again in 2020. I want to keep it rolling. I don't want Michigan to be all of a sudden Ohio State to say, well, you beat us that one time. We just roll off 3 straight. I love to see Michigan get 2 in a row. I think the dynamic of this rivalry is kind of flipped, and Michigan has all the momentum going into next year. So let's keep the momentum going with us. Don't forget about it. Every single day is beat Ohio State again day. So type Bosa in the comments. Last comment here on the live show. Will Johnson, by the way, I've seen the comments. He might have just signed. So if you're watching this, Will Johnson looks like he has officially signed his letter of intent. Brady Schwartzberg says, is Micah Pollard more of a pass rusher linebacker or a true linebacker or more of a linebacker safety? It's a pretty detailed question there, guy. It's really what happens in this system, whether it's Mike McDonald, and he'll be there next year as Michigan's defense coordinator, but you never know what system Michigan is, but will run what coordinator. They've changed system wildly year over year from Don Brown. He might have been a what's the hybrid role Michigan had, Brett, the Don Brown, I'm forgetting the name of the role. But I think he's more of a rush. Viper role, yeah, I'm sorry. What's the name of the role? He probably would have been a Viper under Don Brown, but this is a little bit different of a defense. And under this defense, linebackers need to be able to cover wide receivers and tight ends. And so that's one of the strengths that he has. Michigan, throughout this entire class, every single position that they've recruited for has seemed to be about having speed to compete with the top-level teams like Georgia, like Ohio State, like Alabama. And I think that that Micah Pollard is right in there with those same kind of guys. So I expect him to be able to cover receivers and tight ends much more than I'll probably rely him on being a pass rusher. Some breaking news here. You guys saw in the comments, Megadone Speed said, you're not answering my question. I don't know if Megadone answer it again. I'll answer your questions here because we're done with our Q&A loop. But I might take a few more questions here on the show. It's fine. Will Johnson has signed his letter of intent with Michigan. So, yeah, that might have been a little bit like, Will Johnson hasn't signed yet. What's going on here? Looks like he just wanted to make his announcement and, or make his signing when he made it on his terms. So this entire class is in. Michigan is at, have the rankings changed yet? Production team, no. I still see Michigan still sitting at 9. So I'm guessing that no Looper. Okay, cool. So Michigan's still 9. I see, okay, Megadon says, when will the commits have to sign like Derrick Moore and Darius Clemons? I mean, if they don't sign today, they're not going to be part of this class. So I don't think there's no reason why they won't sign. I think it's more or less of like, if you do sign, then Michigan legally could announce it, and I think they just want to avoid any situation like that. So Derrick Moore, Darius Clemons, those guys will both sign a letter of intent today. NIL, what do you mean NIL? All right. So some breaking news on NLI Day. We've got some NIL news. Will Johnson has apparently signed a name, image, and likeness deal with Positivity Alkaline Water. So if you want to support Will Johnson, go buy yourself some Positivity Alkaline Water, and you're supporting Michigan's NIL name, image, and likeness push. I don't think it has anything to do with the school. I'm sure his family and him negotiated that on their own. I hope it continues. Blake Corum, J.J. McCarthy, and others have gotten nice deals this year. So hopefully Will Johnson and some of these folks can can continue to do it. Got some thanks, Bohannon. Thank you, Yoder, for a 2-hour show. Yoder's the GOAT. Yoder's the man. Yoder, you're so handsome. Yoder, you're the best person of all time. These actually aren't comments coming in. I'm just making up what I hope the comments would say. Hope you guys subscribe, though, if you enjoyed the show. Yeah, we're coming up on 2 hours live here. We went live at 2:30 Eastern. We're coming up on 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, big-time business development meeting coming up here at the company. So I've got to pop off. I've got a phone call here in 6 minutes that we've got to jump on. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. James, what have you been up to? Hey, this is a 2-hour live show. Now trying to do multi-million-dollar deals. All right, take off this shirt. It's Superman underneath. So subscribe to the channel. I want to make sure that everyone who watched today had the opportunity and knows. If you want more Michigan football content, if you want the biggest audience by far now, we got the most subscribers, and now our audience is just taking off lately. So we've got like 3 times the audience in the last couple months over any other Michigan football channel. So really appreciate everyone who has been part of the ride, been part of the show. We got Brian Lambden. We've already kind of got the production team moving on. So I'm going to give you a shout out. We can't put it on the screen though because our one producer is working on that. Had to pop on another show here. So thanks for a great show, Yoder Going Blue. That's from Brian Lambden, LAMBDIN. Thanks so much, Brian. Appreciate it. Big time. I'll grab that comment. Maybe we'll put it on another show as well, Brian. So thank you so much for that one. So Megalone Speed says Yoder is handsome. That guy's great. So subscribe to the channel. Are we approaching 18,000 subs yet, Brett? We're getting close. Where are we at? What's our official number? 17,868, something like that. So we're still about 100 or so away. So didn't get there, but I think we still can the rest of the day. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Hit that subscribe button. Eastside Zach. It's the hashtags. Appreciate you, Eastside Zach. We'll get those comments. I'm going to just get a little screenshots so I don't forget about these guys. Eastside Zach and Brian. We'll get those comments. Just get some more attribution, get your picture and stuff there on the next Michigan Football Report. And we'll have one more comment. Tomorrow, I'm going to do my 6 beers in 15 minutes video with behind-the-scenes footage. So if you watched live last week, that's what's coming on tomorrow's scoop. It's some good content. It wasn't really timely, so we're going to put it out a week later. I'll put the 2 cute question and answer sessions. We'll put those up on Friday and I think Sunday, and we'll have an original video for you, 1 or 2 more original videos for you this week, and continue on into next week and the week between Christmas and New Year's. No one is going to have more Michigan football content than here at the Michigan Football Report. That's the end of the show. 580 of you that stuck with us through the entire thing. You guys rock. Until we see you next time, go Blue.